purity of sport is based in its history, years of hope, decades of determination, all packaged in endless summer afternoons spent rooting for your heroes. So few big league cities can boast of history like Detroit's, where baseball tradition runs as deep as the center field at Tiger Stadium, where those who've created over a century of memories respect the game. And although we've closed out the last 100 years in grand style, now it's time to embrace a new era.
3, 2, 1.
I think the most special thing about this season is the new stadium.
You know, when we get 40,000 people in that ballpark, it's going to be pretty electric.
Juan Gonzalez, deep drive, left field, goodbye. Play at the plate. Tigers have won it.
I'm looking at this to be a big year.
It's going to be really exciting and very special.
Every opening day is special, but this year is different. The time has come to begin a new chapter in Tigers history.
The ribbon is cut, and the gates are open. The players, well, they're ready. And the fans, absolutely stoked to see what happens next. It's the birth of a ballpark and the continuing renaissance of an awfully proud city. It is opening day at Comerica Park here in Detroit, Michigan. It's the Tigers and the Seattle Mariners. And a very special welcome on a very special day. Josh Lewin along with Kirk Gibson. It goes without saying, it is distinctly a pleasure to be here today. I know you, for one, Mr. Gibson, are pretty excited.
Well, it's awesome. I know the weather is, threatening us a little bit. It's just old Tiger Stadium, shedding a tear or two. But I feel just a lot of historic tradition. Detroit, state of Michigan. This is awesome in a new home.
There's a lot to look back to. We'll do a little bit of that today. There's so much to look forward to. But living in the present, it is still 90 feet between the bases. It's still 60 feet 6 inches between the home plate and the pitcher's mound. But there are some things we're going to maybe take some getting used to. They're called the ground rules here at Comerica Park.
That's right. There's bats, there's balls, there's walls. And let's take a look at some of the new features right here. You can see the dugout feature. If you catch the ball out and walk in, that's an out. If you catch it inside, it's out of play. If the ball is thrown into the dugout area down here, it is 2 bases. Now, one of the unique features here is that we're going to go out in the outfield. You see where the camera cutout is here? No other ballpark has that. If it goes off the camera, home run. If it goes in the camera well, home run. And they're probably going to put a plexiglass across there in the near future. And you see there's the one in left field also. Now, when you get out here to the center field wall, umpires are going to have to really get on their horse here, because this wall here, it could bounce off back onto the field and look like a double. The umpire's going to have to get out and get a good prospectus like that. If it's on the light part, it is a home run. If you look at the flagpole right here, you're going to see the ring. When there's padding below the ring, if it hits the ring or below, it ball's in play. If it hits the ring or the padding and bounces out, home run.
All right, I think we got all that. There's going to be so much as we take the gift wrap off of this beautiful package to really discover about this place. And I think part of the joy of that, Gibby, as we go along, more and more little idiosyncrasies will pop up that maybe we never even thought of yet.
Well, it is going to be incredible. There are a lot of angles. We'll show them throughout the telecast today. I know the commissioners here, the umpires' representatives are here, and they're going to kind of review the game as it goes along, and they'll be able to really lock in on these ground rules and get them specific and realize what's best for the game.
Well, the weather you mentioned was an issue this morning. There was snow around Detroit when it got up today. They did an awesome job of clearing the field about 7 or 8 a.m. this morning. They were hoping that the temperatures would rev up there to somewhere in the mid-40s. That never happened. It's 38 degrees right now, but we are certainly playing ball.
And, you know, it's funny because what they did to get the snow off the field is they watered the outfield. And everybody's saying, well, wait a minute, what are you watering the outfield for? That's the beauty of this new stadium. They've got a lot of sand in the outfield area, and they were able to go ahead and put water on there. It melted the snow. They feel the field's going to drain. And anyway, they don't care about the outfielders. They only care about the infielders.
You're taking a look now, not at the Tigers taking the field quite yet, but Little Leaguers taking the field from Detroit, from Hamtramck, from Bloomfield Hills, from Birmingham. They've come from all over. And they are the first ones to take the Comerica Park infield and outfield. I think a nice touch, Gibby, to to welcome in the new era, a new chapter of Tigers baseball. It's got to begin with the youngsters out there. They will now be joined by the men who would be Tigers, the actual Detroit Tigers, joining them right now on the field.
Well, I tell you what, Mr. Ilitch and the Tigers organization has put a lot of thought to this whole opening day, and you can see he's trying to connect the corner to Comerica, the old generations to the future generations. And here you see the little youngsters from all over the little leagues and get a chance to come out here and christen the new ballpark.
Well, we mentioned it is 38 degrees last we heard anyway here at Comerica Park. The wind was shooting in just about a half an hour ago. It's now more of a swirling wind out there. And you see the guys are bundled up. Let's take a look at the lineups. First for the Seattle Mariners, Mark McLemore will be the first man ever to hit at Comerica Park. The second man's got a camera right there in his name, appropriately, Mike Cameron. Yeah, there will be a lot of people taking pictures today. Alex Rodriguez at short, John Olerud and Edgar Martinez. Jay Buhner in right, David Bell at second, Buddy Bell's son. Dan Wilson is the catcher. Carlos Guillen, acquired in the Randy Johnson trade a couple of years ago. He is the third baseman for the Seattle Mariners, who were supposed to play here yesterday. If all went well, it would have been the Tigers and Brian Moeller against the Mariners on April 10th instead of April 11th. The Mariners had some tough travel. That's why the game months ago was bumped to today. Let's scout out Brian Moeller, Gibby, courtesy of Pepsi.
Well, we're going to take a look at Brian Moeller. It's his first start. He had 3 earned runs in 6 innings. This is his 100th career start. Let's cue that VCR again. It seems like he started that final game at Tiger Stadium. Now the first at Comerica Park. He'll want to put that on his highlight reel for his career.
And it's interesting to look at the background behind Brian Moeller as he warms up. It's certainly not what we're accustomed to seeing in Tiger Stadium. There will be several new looks. No question about it as we get used to things here. Tony Clark will get used to the bundled up look for him and some of his teammates today. 38 degrees right now. He is the Tiger first baseman. Greg Jeffries hasn't played much second base. He's in for the injured Damian Easley. Jeffries just 7 innings at second base in his last couple of years. Dean Palmer's at third. And you know, he's been there, done that. Davey Cruz, the Tiger shortstop, off to a fairly decent start, hitting .304. You go out to the outfield, and a guy who is embarrassed about the way he started out, Bobby Higginson, hitting just .208, but primed to turn that around quickly. Juan Encarnacion has had his problems in center field so far on the road. He'll be joined out there by Kareem Garcia in right. Brad Ausmus is the catcher. And Brian Moeller will once again begin the personal tribute to his late father, Fred. Brian Moeller says his dad would have loved a day like today. He's not here. But there are thousands of fathers and sons ready to make their own indelible memories right now with the first pitch ever thrown at Comerica Park. It'll be Mark McLemore to see it. Anticipation gives way to reality right here. Strike one called by a native Detroiter, Rick Reed, behind the plate. And Rick Reed, by the way, switched with a couple other umpires to make sure he could be here today. A guy that grew up in the 6 Mile and Gratiot area. He and his friends used to sneak into Tiger Stadium.
Well, he snuck in here for today's opener.
McLemore pounds one to left center. And Encarnacion sailing back. Makes the catch. And on a day of firsts, we'll try and record them all. The first out nestles into the glove of Juan Encarnacion.
You know, it is a day of first, and, you know, right here, the first out, you heard really the first game cheer, Josh, and we kind of all remember. I was kind of reflecting on how it used to sound in Tiger Stadium. It's going to be interesting to kind of take in the sounds of Comerica Park. Fans all excited right here. You see all the guys all bundled up. The game goes on. See the Detroit moves on. Nobody wanted this game canceled today, and you can see with the full packed house.
Moeller to Cameron for strike one on the outside corner. And if you are scoring at home, the first pitch was delivered at 1:17 in the afternoon. That's not normally something you'd put in your scorebook, but again, a day of first today. And Brian Moeller dealt that first pitch. Another strike from Moeller to Cameron.
Well, break the ball right there, a little flat. Going to be a little tricky to get a good grip on that ball in this cold weather.
That ball peeled away, and hey, Mark, this is the first foul ball. Who's going to get it? Now, midway up in that lower seating bowl, congratulations. You got it, sir.
You got to take a pen right there, right now, claim your fame, put the date and time, and at the first, a foul ball.
Wind still whistling in here at Comerica Park, and the 1-2, a check swing taken down too low. Well, I hope you got a chance to see the pregame ceremonies. The flag passed back out there to the flagpole, went through all the Tigers, some of the older members of the Tigers too, including guys like George Kell, Willie Horton, Eldon Walker was here. Bouncing ball, Davy Cruz kicks it right to Jeffries, who will have no play. Defense has been such a big problem starting out this 2000 season for the Tigers. They've allowed 12 unearned runs already, and that should be the first error at Comerica Park.
Well, again, you're talking about first. This is the first really game ground ball Davy Cruz has got to witness, and the ball comes up on him a little bit. That infield grass is very soft, very mushy, very plush. Looks like it wouldn't hit the dirt right there. Gained a lot of topspin, jumped up on him. Davy unable to handle it.
By the way, when that first pitch was delivered to Mark McLemore a few minutes ago, you might have noticed that that pitch was escorted out of play. We'll have more on the whereabouts of that pitch for you a little bit later on. But Ryan Schmeichel, the son of Jim Schmeichel, the longtime Tigers clubhouse man, actually playing hooky today from the University of Dayton to make sure that he could be here. He was the bat boy that was charged with running out and securing that first ever pitch baseball.
Maybe he can get some clip notes on his classes today.
Well, he just got a permission note from his dad as Alex Rodriguez takes inside. Yeah, Brian Schmeichel made about a 4-hour drive from Dayton, Ohio. Said he wouldn't have missed this for anything. Again, kind of a nice poetic aside that Rick Reed is the guy calling balls and strikes for us today. He said he used to get in tugs of war over the uniform number 6 in Little League, Al Kaline's number. Had to have it. And he said he had to be back for this today. There's a strike to Rodriguez.
Well, I asked Rick Reed if he could remain impartial, and he said, well, yeah. And I said, well, when did you really get to that in your umpiring career? And he said, well, when the first guy who I used to look up to told me I wasn't doing a good job. And he said, that happened a long time ago. I said, that wasn't me, was it? He said, I always felt that our relationship was somewhat professional.
No, he said back in 1956, he came to his first Tiger game, saw Jim Bunning against Whitey Ford. And it was all Yankees that day, but he remembers staying through the 9th inning to see Kaline hit a grand slam. Something he still remembers 44 years later.
Got him! Yes, he did!
Some of the Mariners are hollering for a balk, but that call wasn't coming, and Mike Cameron is picked off.
Now watch that front shoulder. Cameron obviously going on that play. There you see, he's a dead duck. This kind of a ducky day.
So the base is clear, and it's 2-1. Make it 3-1 now to Alex Rodriguez.
Well, right now, 3-1, Brian Moeller behind with the new ballpark. That big 395, 420 center field. Here's a time when you can challenge them and hope your outfielders can run it down.
And as that one is sliced out of play, that's among the things that we'll be talking a lot about. The differences between Tiger Stadium and Comerica Park. The vast expanses out there, especially in left center. Somebody remarked today it was both expensive and expensive to get this done. 3-2 tag down the right field line and heading out of play.
Well, if you're an outfielder, again, talking about the big park, what are you going to do? Looks like Bobby Higginson and Juan Encarnacion are going to play a little deeper. Here you see him out here. You're going to want to be able to cover this gap. But what you really is going to make you do is pay attention to your scouting report. You're going to have to know your hitter. If a guy is not capable of hitting it out there, you don't want to stay deep.
Mashed over to third. Palmer backing up. He fumbles it. Well, on a very raw day, 38 degrees when we began. So far, the Tiger infielders having a tough time surrounding those baseballs.
It'll be interesting to see if the same thing happens to Seattle right here. Again, this ball just bounces up to Dino. It looks like his glove's like a little hard. You know, it's a little chilly, maybe frozen. And that is true. It's not going to be as soft, the leather, as it normally is. See, this ball hits the dirt. It's a different texture for him. Nevertheless, Davey and Dino know they should both have had those easy ground balls.
So the Tigers commit errors on the back-to-back hitters. Cameron and Rodriguez both reach. Cameron again was picked off. Rodriguez now the runner for John Olerud, who was a dynamite Tiger Stadium hitter.
If you look at this Seattle Ball Club, Josh, it's built for the new Safeco field. John Olerud, more of a gap hitter, has the big outfield out there also. Let's Lou Piniella manage the game of baseball.
That one catches the corner. It's 1-1 now. To the native of Washington State, he decided to return home. Signed as a free agent away from the Mets. Olerud tags one. That's heading towards the right field corner. And it short hops off the wall. Here comes Rodriguez to third. He's being held as it's played back.
Got him at third. Nope.
They're going to try it. Safe there. So it's a double for Olerud. And the third base coach, Larry Boa, who was actually a very daring base runner in his day, decided, you know what, it's too cold to get my superstar into a home plate collision and too early in the year. So it'll be second and third, 2 out.
Well, Olerud with a bullet down in the right field corner. Kareem Garcia actually gets to it very well. Good relay. It looks to me, Josh, like the field, because you haven't played on it, it's not really compacted down into game condition right now. It looks like the footing might be a little treacherous.
Well, it goes as the first base hit in the history of this ballpark. They've already removed the ball, put it in the Tiger dugout. And it will be held for safekeeping. John Olerud is a man who gets credit. It'll go right in the baggie.
Keep it dry.
It will be offered to the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, by the way. And hopefully it's a base hit, although headed to the Hall of Fame that will not do any damage here. Edgar Martinez comes up with runners at second and third. We're just getting going here, literally, at Comerica Park. First game ever.
Well, Brian Mueller has to find a way to get out of this. Edgar Martinez, tough hitter, good contact hitter. You got to decide. You got a base open. Jay Buhner on deck. We see Edgar with a pretty good career average versus Brian Mueller.
Check swing, and the pitch missed. Down and outside, 3-1. The count to the dangerous Edgar Martinez. And he's one of the few real holdovers, Gibby. You know, this is the Tigers' first home game in forever, not at Tiger Stadium. This is Seattle's first road game in forever without Ken Griffey Jr. So they're making adjustments, too. In the air, right center. Kareem Garcia with Encarnacion. It's Garcia, and that's the inning. And Garcia throws that baseball up behind the bullpens. That'll be a nice souvenir for somebody. This was the first base hit at Comerica Park, and there's no score. Well, Well, the past has officially yielded the right of way to the present and the future. It's the first game at Comerica Park. It's underway. There's no score. So the Tigers have made a couple of errors. Let's see what they can do now at the plate. Checking the lineup, brought to you by Dodge. Luis Polonia DHing. You'll notice that Juan Gonzalez again misses out with that tender hamstring. Greg Jeffries into the game at second. Bobby Higginson, Tony Clark, and Brad Osmus has been torrid lately. Dean Palmer's at third. Then Kareem Garcia, Juan Encarnacion, and Davy Cruz on what is now a 40-degree afternoon. Freddie Garcia is the starting pitcher for the Seattle Mariners, and a win today gives him 4 wins over the Tigers in 4 starts at 4 different ballparks.
Take a look at Freddie Garcia in our Pepsi pitching scouting report. Finished second in the Rookie of the Year race behind Carlos Beltran. 8-3 after the All-Star break last year, and 17 wins sets a record for a Venezuelan pitcher. Hard throwing, good curveball, and a changeup. So the one thing he hasn't had this year has been the good curveball.
Here's all Luis Polonia take up and outside. And the Seattle defense. We'll chronicle that for you momentarily, as Polonia now takes a strike from Garcia. Kamara Barti had the last Tiger at bat at Tiger Stadium. Polonia gets the first Tiger AB here. And he belts one to center.
Get over his head.
Cameron drops it, and Polonia steaming around second for triple of what should be many. Almost the first spectacular catch in the history of this ballpark, but Cameron couldn't hold it. You mentioned, Gibby, on a day like today, those gloves don't close around the baseballs all that easily.
And also, Mike Cameron right here, what you don't do, you have never played in this park. He doesn't get a good jump on this ball, and you can see how he kind of bananas out after that ball, and he's unable to catch it up. And look at how much room is left behind him. And Luis Polonia running all the way out of the box. First triple of Comerica Park.
Greg Jeffries with a chance for the first RBI. Infield back, and the pitch too high.
Now, this is something the Tigers have not done well at all so far this season. Got a guy at third base. Not looking for a ground ball here. We're looking for the ball to be driven.
Okay.
Like that.
Well, the first in-game fountain firework display. It follows the Greg Jeffries RBI. Greg Jeffries providing the first RBI at Comerica Park. He was not even supposed to make the team. He's the base runner. Higgins in the batting. And he skies it. Let's see if Cameron handles this one. He's loping in. And the wind pushing it away from him, but he finds it anyway.
Ball a little out of the zone for Higgy right there. You want to let that ball get down in on you a little bit.
You know, we've mentioned already, Kirk, how the weather, the wind, the cold should affect a lot of the hitters and the fielders today. The pitcher, Freddie Garcia, will be affected too. Cutting school down at Dayton today to be here. With permission.
You know, I'm looking at all the Tigers. You know, they have that fad, everybody dyes their hair blonde.
Right.
They're all bandits today. What is this?
Los Bandidos, stay Detroit. Jeffries scurries back to first. Well, again, as you look at the, I guess, kind of Nanook fashion statement, Freddie Garcia, we should point out, on the border of Illinois and Iowa. And a swing and a miss by Clark. That was 3 years ago. But this is a guy who was born and raised in Venezuela, was pitching in the Astros system for most of his pro career. They've got a lot of warm weather minor league affiliates, so He's not completely used to 40 degrees and windy.
That was the change up there to Tony Clark. Remember what I said about the breaking ball? Hasn't had good command of it this year. So if he's a two-pitch pitcher, guys, make the adjustment. Do not look for that hook. Another change piece right there. If you've noticed, his fastballs have been up high. Greg Jeffries just hit a fastball. Wait a minute. Two teammates just hit two fastballs. He doesn't have a breaking ball. Maybe I should sit on that straight change or that fork ball. You got to protect against it right here with 2 strikes.
Got him. One upstairs this time with about 10 more miles an hour tacked on.
Well, it's exactly what happens right here. He gets the fastball. Like I said, it's up in the zone and out of the zone. Tony unable to connect with it. Now, if I'm Tony Clark, next time I come up the bat, I'm going to set to take that off-speed pitch away.
Three of them already against the Tigers. He's pitched exceedingly well against them. Osman lines the first one foul, and there was a gasp from the crowd. They're not used to that screen going all the way up. Right behind home plate. There were some people sitting maybe 15 rows back, thought they were going to get it right between the eyes. That will not happen here. Osman's had a terrific road trip. Contributing to the team limping in to their new digs at 1-5.
Well, it doesn't help. You know, Juan wants to play today on a new park opening day in Detroit.
Jeffries diving back in. Well, Tigers president John McHale made the point earlier this morning in our extended pregame coverage that this is Detroit, Michigan. I think the populace here prides itself on being tough. There is no question that they were going to play this game today. Well, it strikes me as the same people that would complain about the weather here. The same people go to the Silverdome and tailgate outside in 8-degree weather.
Well, but that's football. I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, you've got a coat on.
Narc.
I don't. I was going to say you've got gloves on, but so do I.
I went coatless for the first 15 minutes, but we all have our limits. 1-2, Russell Rogers back. Away from Michigan in trouble. Line shot foul by Osmus. You know, the other couple times, Jimmy, the Tigers opened a new home ballpark. They won both times. 1896, they beat those hated Columbus Senators 17-2. And then when Navenfield opened up, that, of course, later became Tiger Stadium, 1912. It was Tigers over Cleveland. They can officially beg out of that.
Veto, and they did. They had to vote on it. They voted to go on Tuesday, and we were down here yesterday. It was gorgeous yesterday, but gorgeous today also, just a little rain.
Again, the 2-2. And again, the sliced foul.
Now, Phil Garner's been talking about the Tigers thinking, pitchers watching, and if you watch right there, Freddie Garcia throws in that breaking ball. Brett Austin is really sitting all over it. on the hands.
Yep, and in too far, as a matter of fact. It's 3-2.
This is the kind of thing that Phil Garner's talking about to his club every single day. And that's what he wants his pitchers to understand. Look at Osmus is sitting on that. He fouled it off. Don't throw him another breaking ball, because if you throw it and it's not in as good a position, it's going to cost you.
Oh, it's been an 8-pitch at bat. Garcia and Brad Osmus. Jeffries will get going.
Then on first and second, 2 down, and Dean Palmer with the chance to pad this first inning Tiger lead.
Palmer's got 3 home runs already. I'll give you the Detroit News Tribune the day after opening day back in 1912. Reported on the what it was in the clipping from the News Tribune 88 years ago. It said the Tigers started out on the march across the field to the big flagpole in the center, where the Stars and Stripes and the Board of Commerce flag were hoisted to the breeze. There was some roar as the flags went up. It made a hole in the atmosphere like a dozen Niagaras. And a lot of what they wrote 88 years ago we might see in play here today. Still got the flagpole, and you can simulate a dozen Niagaras with the fountains out there in center.
Got it. Real aggressive swing right there. Unable to drive the ball. You know, as a hitter, you try and work yourself into good situations, and there you get it, and that's so hard to center a baseball.
Breaking pitch missing in. And now the Tigers will send 2 men in motion. The count full from Garcia to Palmer.
You take a look right here at Dan Wilson. This is the breaker. This is the flat one I'm talking about. Watch his glove, how he pulls it down. What you call a frame job. Watch the glove. This is what the umpires do. I've been watching Freddie Garcia here, and he's getting a little frustrated right here. Let's take a look at this reaction. That's good news. Quite a few pitches here in the first inning, and this is how you work an opposing pitcher. You want to extend those innings, get base runners on base, move those infielders around. Then you want a big pop from a guy like Kareem Garcia.
And Kareem Garcia was part of what was memorable from that last game at Tiger Stadium. Of course, Robert Fick had the grand slam, but the hero before that had been Kareem. Kalon, you may remember, had taken the field wearing a cap with NC inscribed on it to honor his late friend Norm Cash. Fick was the one who wore Cash's old number 25, and the most subtly beautiful footnotes of one of Detroit's most beautiful days was that. Up and in from Garcia to Garcia.
Kareem Garcia yesterday in batting practice, first batter and left-handed hitter to hit one out of the Comerica Park. Comerica Park, you better bring your gloves if you're going to be sitting down there along the first and third base line, especially heading towards the outfield. The seats actually curve back, so you're looking back towards home plate. They're also skewed. Uh-oh, you balked.
He did balk with the bases loaded. And the Tigers have scored again. This is not what Freddie Garcia had in mind.
Norman Padilla.
It's been an interesting first inning.
Well, let's take a look and see if we can see what he did. You cannot. He's in a set position. See right there? He knew it.
Way outside, it's 2-2. Garcia, again, just seems like he's struggling with the feel of the baseball more than anything else. That's not exactly a major upset on a 40-degree blustery afternoon. Again, Garcia yelping at himself as he's in danger of walking his third in a row with 2 outs.
Well, you got to believe it. It is tough for Freddie Garcia to grip the ball. The conditions, you can see the rain and sleet kind of filtering through, plus the frustration.
That's strike 3. Garcia can't get off the mound quickly enough. A couple of strikeouts in the inning, sandwiched a couple of walks, but there were a couple of hits, and the first Tiger run. It is actually 2-0 Detroit at the end of the first inning. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Net, brought to you by Comerica. We listen, we understand, we make it work. By Pepsi, the joy of cola. By Dodge, in a perfect world, everything would be different. And by Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete. You're looking at the main entrance at Comerica Park. When you first come in off that Witherell area, you encounter a Tiger that's 25 feet long, 15 feet high. You see Ernie Harwell's visage up there right under the neon Old English D.
Well, Ernie's voice hasn't changed, but the picture has a little bit.
Tigers are literally everywhere here, Gibby.
Now, those Tigers, I believe, go nuts when the Tigers hit a home run. Like to see that today.
And we'll take a healthy poke. Raw day with the wind blowing in. Jay Buhner, a feeble ground ball past the mound, and Mulder's got to get over there and cover. And safe the call on a play that appeared to develop in slow motion, and Mueller is hurt. Was he spiked, or did he hit the bag awkwardly? Steve Carter run out from the third base side dugout, the Tiger dugout. One of the Tiger trainers will have a look. We'll take a look, too.
Little number off the end of the bat. Let's see Brian Mueller. He's over it. You see, oh, he sprained his ankle, and Jay Buhner then stepped on it. That's not good news. Well, Brian Mueller was a little late getting over there, and because of that, not able to get an ideal position on the bag.
Well, that happened in Oakland in Brian's last start, where Tony Clark was trying to lead him to the bag. Brian actually never saw the ball coming. It went for an error and led to one of a couple of unearned runs.
I tell you what, I don't know if it looked like he got it pretty good right there.
Well, the Tigers already holding Juan Gonzalez out of the lineup today for fear that this cold weather will further injure that hamstring. You know, Juan would love to be out there if he could, but he can't. Damian Easley can't. He pulled a rib cage muscle.
Now that's his push-off foot. We take a look right here again. Now look right here. This is, you see his foot, it's already turning. And Buhner just steps on it and adds insult. That's the foot he pushes off with. Looks like he's going to try and go.
Well, Mueller, as you mentioned, Gibby, the guy that started the last ever game at Tiger Stadium, it means a great deal to him to be out there in this, the first game at Comerica Park. And it would take something monumental to cart him off the field right now. He'll pitch through it.
Yep, he's going to do exactly that. You know, Brian Mueller, he's a very tough competitor. You just hope that he doesn't do anything stupid here, try and pitch through something that maybe he shouldn't try and pitch through. This is how you sometimes can do that and injure some other part of your pitching necessity. Your arm, your shoulder.
David Bell, the batter. And Palmer, the third baseman, was yanked in on the grass thinking about a bunt. And that's another thing that we're still yet to really figure out fully here, Kirk, is how that infield grass is going to play. Will bunts stop dead, or will they continue to roll a little bit?
No, they're not going to roll on this grass right now. It's 3 inches. It will be cut down to 1.5 inches, and it's very thick.
Well, Heather Nabosny has done a wonderful job, as she did in the final year at Tiger Stadium. The youngest groundskeeper in Major League Baseball, only female groundskeeper in Major League Baseball. It's 100% Kentucky bluegrass. It looks terrific.
With the right thing underneath it so it can grow to its best abilities.
That ball swept slowly towards Davy Cruz. He's got a hustle. He flings it across. He gets David Bell on the play. Buhner able to scoop to second. This particular part of the batting order for Seattle has never hit against Brian Moeller very well. Buhner, Bell, and Wilson a combined 2 out of 32. So if there's a safety zone to be had for Moeller against a very tough Seattle team, this is it. Dan Wilson, a noted Tiger killer in the past. Tigers lead the game 2-0. They scored on a Jeffries single and then a Freddie Garcia balk in the bottom of the first. Now, by the way, throughout the day, we'll be going to our John Keating. He'll be around the ballpark on a virtual tour of the Tigers' new crib. We'll have some dignitaries with John and in the booth as well. Well, we've got a lot to choose from. Everyone who's anyone seemed to be available today. Great to see George Kell come back.
Well, Skipper's around, I hear.
I heard that too. Saw him out there.
I'm going to thump him.
You are?
I'm going to thump him. We bring back some memories. As long as we're thinking about the old fella here, we might as well go ahead and I'll give him one ray on his noggin.
All right, we'll see about that. Wilson takes a strike. We're talking about Sparky Anderson, who will be joining us in just a little bit. Of course, Sparky will be having a day in his honor, April 30th. That's Phil Garner's birthday, by the way, so a couple of managers will be getting, shall we say, some presents on April the 30th, a Sunday afternoon. That ball fired in for a strike, 2-2 from Moeller for the Seattle catcher, Dan Wilson. Time to see how that infield plays. See a hard hit ground ball right at somebody, and we'll see if the Tigers can shake off the defensive rust. They've already committed 2 errors early in the game today.
Well, I can tell the field's playing very slowly today, and Bobby Higginson just picked that ball up and threw it in. You can see it wasn't a very good throw, and there actually was snow on that outfield only a couple of hours ago. So it's going to be very wet out there when you're an outfielder. You pick that ball up. Better hope you can get as much seam on that baseball as you can grab. Not going to be any close plays at the plate, I don't think.
Carlos Guillen takes strike 1 from Moeller.
Again, and the surface is much different than everybody's used to. You see Higgy kind of bobbles it a little bit, can't get a good grip. The hands are cold when you're an outfielder. You just jam it wherever you can to keep it warm. It looks like Higgy's got it in his pocket.
Moeller missing away, and the count levels 1-1. Higginson and Encarnacion in left and center will be a big part of how well the Tigers do at home this year. Again, all that real estate in left center. It's up to the 2 of them to patrol it. That ball twisted out of play, foul. I tell you, Gibby, it's neat to actually get here and look at left center with your own eyes. We've heard so much about it and wondered so much. It's 398 at its deepest. To the actual dead left center alley, it's 395. 420 to straightaway center.
It's a long way.
Of course, all those years that we thought that 440 was the accurate measurement at Tiger Stadium, it was revealed over the course of the winter that it was actually closer to that 420 than 440. But as a guy that ran around out there, I'm sure it felt like 480.
Well, a time or two I stumbled out there. It is a long poke any way you look at it. Many of them around 400 feet around the leagues.
Rip and a miss, Guillen. Against Brian Moeller is polished off for the second out. Guillen sinks to 1 out of 20 to begin this 2000 season.
We'll take a look right here. Brian Moeller with good location. Ball is moving off the plate, and Guillen unable to catch up. You can see a little tail right there at the end. Good job by Brian Moeller. Now, Seattle Mariner players first and third. This is what you got to do. You got to get that big out.
Well, it comes back to the top of the order. Mark McLemore. He was the first ever hitter at Comerica Park. About 3/4 of an hour ago, he flied out to center. And he's got some opening game experience, by the way. This guy was at Oriole Park at Camden Yards as an Oriole when they christened Oriole Park back in 1992. Not really the first of the great new retro ballparks, I think, Kirk, the Oriole Park at Camden Yards. So it gave everybody the idea that maybe the classic look was back in style.
Looks like Brian Moeller exclusively working on the outside part of the plate right now. Fastball's got a good tail action.
Who is that masked man up there? That's McLemore. Blocked nicely by Brad Osmus. Seems like about 1 out of 3 players, right, Kirk, have the full-scale chin and neck guard working today.
Well, I got to tell you, I just had a memory right here. There's only one guy I know, if he was still here with us, Aurelio Lopez, he would not only have a mask on, he would not have a long-sleeve shirt on. Only a T-shirt.
Well, Todd Jones ran out there in the full Aurelio Lopez regalia. During the player introductions, he was the one guy I noticed that had the short sleeves on and nothing working underneath.
That tells you, though, that those guys are just a little different. You know, they got a little different clock ticking there.
To show off those guns, you know. First and third, 2 out. And Moeller trying to change. He dips behind 3-1. Mike Cameron waits on deck.
Pretty good pitch by Brian right there, but he's got a pretty good hitter up there, Tim McLemore. That's pretty hard to lay off that as a hitter. McLemore did. Now Brian Moeller looking at a 3-1 count.
The wind picking up again at Comerica Park. It's not often you see a runner take his lead like that, is it? That's Buhner down at third. And that's a strike for Moeller. It's 3-2.
You think of the sequence right here, mostly fastballs away, occasional changeup. I'd like to see Brian Moeller come hard inside. We know that ball's tailing back out over the plate. I think he could get Mark McLemore looking. Looks like he's going away.
McLemore going away first.
And you know, I wondered if he wasn't peeking right there and looking for a little location. It's one of the ways hitters will do it. They'll call time and watch the catcher to see what way he's moving.
Wilson will get going from first. Buhner the runner at third. That ball swatted to center. Encarnacion under it, puts it away. The Mariners strand a couple for the second inning in a row. Brian Moeller pitches out of it. Sparky Anderson will be joining us when we return to Comerica Park. Opening day at Comerica Park. There's a DAC right there behind center field, but where is John Keating. Let's go find out. Where are you, John?
All right, Josh, thank you. We're at the Tiger Den. This is now my favorite part of the ballpark. These are great. These chairs that you can move around, sort of a throwback to the olden days. And, you know, opening new ballparks is nothing new to the two franchises involved in today's game. The Tigers helped open Comiskey Park back in 1991. The Tigers of Sparky Anderson and Alan Trammell were on that particular team. It was a very good day for the Tigers. After Blackjack McDowell started, the Tigers went on to win that game 16-0. And of course, Juan Gonzalez and Dean Palmer, now the Tigers, helped open the ballpark at Arlington. And the Mariners not only opened their own field, Safeco Field, last July 15th, they helped the Cleveland Indians open Jacobs Field just a couple of years ago. I can also tell you, Josh, that even though the temperature is very cold within the Tiger Den, it's not stopped most of those here from drinking cold beverages, if you know what I'm saying. Back to you.
Pepsi.
All right, John, thank you very much. Encarnacion trying to bunt his way on. Well, you saw the picture of Sparky Anderson circa 1991. You're going to see him in vintage 2000 form as he joins us in the booth here in the second inning. It's great to have him back. Of course, April 30th, Spark, is your day. You excited about that?
I am excited about that. Only in America can things like that happen.
You know they're giving me the mic on April 30th?
Oh, they let Gibby have the mic. He's going to tell the truth.
Alex Rodriguez, terrific play, but he does not capture Encarnacion, who's safe with the third Tiger hit. Of course, Sparky, we've all congratulated you off camera, but I think on camera, from all Tiger fans, congratulations on the Hall of Fame induction. That's awesome.
Well, it's hard, even I'm not being funny about it. It's very hard to realize, and I walk every morning for an hour, and every morning I fool with different ways of how it did happen, but it all boils down to one thing, and I've always told guys this: it boils down to players, and it's as simple as that. There's no other way to bend it. You say, well, he can work with players. Well, you better have players to work with.
Davy Cruz drops down the bunt. Olerud off to field it. His play is to Bell, covering at second base, and he hops out of the way like he was on a hot coal over there. So the Tigers move their man to second base, already leading 2-0. So you succeeded despite the handicap of having one Kirk Gibson for all those years.
You know something about Gibby. Gibby was ornery.
Oh, really?
And you know something?
Nothing's changed.
No, nothing's changed. And I hope it never does change, because I think in our game right now, we're lacking a little bit of those people that are ornery. You know, people that are ornery, they want to get something done, and that's the reason they're ornery. And the problem I think today I see so much with so many ball clubs is they don't have people that want to get ornery.
Well, I talked to Phil Garner, and he said, you know, one thing that concerns me, I think it's along the same lines, is that sometimes we just show up and have a kind of a nice little game. And
yeah, it's a nice game.
We want a nice, nasty competition.
Yeah.
Within the rule book.
See, I've always said this, and I was telling Bo about this. I always said, you give me a football player that plays baseball also, and I'll give you a tough guy for one reason. In football, they have football mentality, which means they play 11, 12 games a year. They can't afford to lose too many. Well, that's their mentality when they play baseball.
Football weather out there for us today. Polonia waves and misses.
Now, I remember when you told me, though, when I came over as a football player, but this is baseball, and you got to learn to throttle it a little bit.
Yeah, I said you got.
You said you're going to kill yourself.
Back it down. Just ahead. He liked to kill me. Don't worry about killing himself. He was trying to kill me.
Talking with Sparky Anderson, legendary Tiger manager, heading to the Hall of Fame. And the pitch outside to Luis Polonia, 1-2. So, Sparky, I got to ask you, I mean, obviously this is not Tiger Stadium. What are your impressions about this new ballpark?
Beautiful. You know, anytime you can see the city skyline, and that this is a fantastic ballpark, and you have to give all the people involved in this, the mayor, the governor, the Tiger people, everybody, and even the people that you know, other people that were involved, they must get credit for this. This is a beautiful place.
Well, Skipper, how do you look at this field, though, as a manager? I mean, what do you see out here? How do you see the game changing because of this park?
Well, I like everything the way it is right now. That slow grass, really slow.
You do like that slow
so
grass.
the ball won't shoot through. The dirt, I love the black dirt, because black dirt you can really keep nice. I love left center field, and I love center. Right over in the right field territory, a little dangerous, but not bad. It's not out of line.
But that's where you want to shape your club to get a couple boppers that kind of utilize that.
You want to shape your club with speed and 2 left-handers for sure that can reach that place.
Count 3-2 to Luis Polonia. Tigers have a 2-0 lead. We're chatting with Sparky Anderson here.
Now this area right here, Skipper, do you remember what you used to do to that?
Oh yeah, that was the area you used to dig up nice, pack it sand, and then bring the dirt in and split it 50-50 with sand. Make sure no ball would bounce.
Now you tell me, when you used to come out, Frank Finnick was the groundskeeper, you used to come out and take a baseball,
throw it down
as hard as it could. And now what were you doing? I mean, now if it bounced like 1 inch, it wasn't soft enough, or what?
No, if it didn't kind of sink, where when you threw it down, it had to go and sink like it was in a divot at a golf court. If it did that, that meant the ball was jumping out of there. We had Trammell and Whitaker, and I promise you they was going to catch everything.
Well, here we go to Greg Jeffries. He's already driven in a Tiger run today. Takes a look at a strike. You know, one thing that we haven't really talked about yet, just cosmetically at the ballpark, you take a look at the area right around home plate, and we'll show it to you in full in just a moment. It's almost like there's more than just one home plate at home plate, the way they've got it configured. Jeffries fouls one.
Well, it's normally a circle, and then obviously you can see this is a home plate, and for all you umpires that are watching, that's a ball. That is a strike.
Yeah, but occasionally we get out of the box.
Yeah, we sure do. That's just a hitter begging. You know, Skipper, I get a little goofy sitting up here sometimes. Yeah, I think I got that from you.
No, you don't get goofy. You're like me. You're totally goofy.
Well, you know, you're supposed to have some fun at the ballpark. You know, we used to have fun competing, but now we're up here. We got to, you know, we got to step back a little bit and amuse ourselves.
Jeffries, he is taken care of. That's a good change.
Like I told Bobby Higginson today, I said, Bobby said I'm struggling. I said, Bobby, let me ask you something. First of all, you can't show me a degree from Harvard. Now look, you're not that bright, and I'm not that bright, and that's why we're in baseball. I want you to do this. When you're on the on-deck circle, think about how you swung when you were at Temple. Forget all this other nonsense about, oh, I got to think this and think that.
Well, you're right there, Skip. You got to keep it simple, and I know that if you get too many things occupying your mind, you are going to have struggles at the plate. And you know, just the fact that he would walk up and tell you that tells you a little something, and that's it's not a good sign, but that's good advice given.
Higginson drives that one. Absolutely. Cameron can't get it. 1 run in. A second one is going to score. Higginson digging for 3. And Higgy's going to make it with another Tiger triple. Now, can you come in and talk to him every day, Spark?
No, but, you know, like I told him, it's only common sense. See what you see and swing at what you want. Don't be getting all these theories about what you want to do this and do that. That's just confusing. We're not smart enough for that.
And that ball's right out over the plate, and well, we saw 2 triples already in 2 innings. How many do we have last year in Tiger Stadium? Not many. And Bobby Higginson goes for 3, and you always only go for 3 with 2 outs if you can make it. That's who taught me that, sitting right next to me.
Now Tony Clark in there in the cleanup spot for Juan Gonzalez. I saw a big broad smile on the face of Juan Gonzalez, Sparky, today when he saw that you were in the clubhouse, and that was awesome to see him that revved up. He was kind of bummed, obviously, that he couldn't get out there today. Clark rolls it to the right side, and that'll end the inning, but it seems you've got that effect on a lot of people. Welcome back, Sparky. Great to have you.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you April 30th, too, for your day here at Comerica Park.
Thank you so much. And Gibby, I catch you, you know, on
that dish
thing, so don't get too carried away.
Don't worry, I'll get you.
I thought you were going to thump him on the head. I knew you'd do that. All right, 4-0 Tigers. It's the Tigers with 2 in the first, 2 in the second. They lead the historic home opener at Comerica Park over the Seattle Mariners. 40 degrees, blustery, but they're riding on that carousel.
There's Keating.
No, that's not right. That's a beautiful, beautiful carousel.
And they are riding it.
All 30 Tigers hand-painted. As you see, the orange and the white. Built in Wichita, Kansas. And then imported here to Detroit, Michigan.
That's cool. That's cool.
Moeller to Mike Cameron. And a strike. They have described this, Gibby, as Cooperstown meeting Disney World. This ballpark.
Well, we just displayed that. We had Sparky Anderson, who's headed to Cooperstown.
Yep.
Little carousel right there.
But you know, and as it's been noted too, all the baseball you notice is here on the inside. The entertainment is kind of kept on the outside, not interfering with the reason you'll really come here, which is to watch the Tigers play ball.
Now think about it, because I've been watching the few of the people, the families right here. How long if you're a kid, you've heard about the carousel. First inning's over. Tigers got a couple runs. Aren't you saying, hey, let's go check that carousel? Haven't you said that since you left the car?
Or the Ferris wheel. 1-2 is popped up, and Davy Cruz is looking for it. Wandering under it, he makes the catch. Folks, if you have an upcoming special occasion, why not celebrate with the Tigers? Group tickets and party suites are now available for as little as $8 per person. Call today, 313-471-BALL, to book your outing at Comerica Park, which is now officially 1 hour old. The day started with a couple of Tiger errors. John Olerud had the ballpark's first base hit. Now a strike to Alex Rodriguez. Whoop, Moeller.
Ooh, that ankle getting a little tender.
Well, he'll get reset up there.
Well, at least he's got ice on it for the whole game. It's 34 degrees.
He's got no choice. You're right.
The swelling will not come in until after he goes inside.
Ball and a strike from Moeller.
Okay, now here's another observation. This is the flags on top of the scoreboard. And now if you're an outfielder, you're going to look up there. But look at, here's the center field flag. Dead. So if I'm an outfielder, I'm trying to figure out how to play that wind. It's going to show you. If it's up high, the wind may have more effect. If it's down low, the ball's going to play more true to a no-win situation. Now, there was things like that at the old Tiger Stadium, and this seems to be one of them here in the new Comerica Park.
Three and one the count.
And how that is good for the fan also. I noticed when I was here yesterday down in the lower bowl, because this park is dug down in the ground. On a windy day is going to be much calmer in the stands area.
That ball swept away, foul. Well, just walking around out there, and by the way, that's one of the very cool things about Comerica Park is you can literally do a lap around the stadium unimpeded. You don't have to go down any strange alleyways or wells. You just walk around the park literally in a circle. But as you get out beyond the left field wall, there does seem to be a lot of wind. Obviously, when it blows out, you can really feel it. That ball hammered into left, a base hit for Alex Rodriguez. But Kirk, I tell you what, it won't be so much what we see out beyond left field that will make this such a perfect postcard here of Detroit, Michigan. It's going to be out beyond center and right center. You see the Penobscot building
right there. You see the ball lit up and the little Christmas tree.
Kept it lit against the gray backdrop today. You know, you live here for all these years. For you, most obviously of your entire life. I don't know of a better look at the city of Detroit than what we've got out of our window here.
No, I don't think it gets any better, and yeah, I think it kind of reaffirms your heritage when you come down and you look at that. I mean, when you come to the old Tiger Stadium, you sit in the stadium, you're just totally enclosed. And
well, we would gaze out and look at some guy in center field. Yeah, I mean,
that's right.
It was completely, you're right, double decked all the way around and enclosed. Not that we didn't love it. Olerud to left field. That's going to get down, and Higginson's got to chase it towards the line.
Second base.
And by getting it there, Olerud has to hightail it back to first. Nice recovery. Bobby Higginson getting over there. It'll be first and third, one out instead of second and third.
Real good job by Higgy, because this leaves the Mariners first and third, one out. Still gives them a good opportunity for a double play ball. For Higgy, remember, John Olerud pulled the ball to right field last time. This time he goes down to left field. Look how he kind of circles around a little bit. Picks it up one time, feet underneath him. Good strong throw. Olerud has to retreat to first base. Look how he goes around to the other side of it to pick it up. You don't want to backhand that and reach behind you to get the ball. Al Kaline to be proud of you right there, Bobby Higginson.
Well, the Tigers do bring the infield to double play depth for Edgar Martinez. Now, I'll tell you what, Gibby, for all of the people that were kind of bemoaning the fact that it was only 36 degrees this morning, can you imagine if it had been 5 degrees cooler than that, and that wet rain would have been actual snow that would have stuck?
We wouldn't be playing.
That ball hugs the corner. It's 0-2.
Brian Moeller jumping out 0-2. Good position right here to get Edgar Martinez to maybe go after something that he doesn't want to. Not likely that he's going to strike out, but we would like to see that double play. If I'm an infielder, though, I see this infield's very slow. I'm going to move up a little more. Oh, yeah.
Right there, strike three. Martinez down on strikes. He's 0 for 2. And the second strikeout for Brian Moeller. Looks like that ankle's going to be okay.
Well, he starts him off breaking ball, then fastball away. Good job by Brad Ausmus. Gets him to throw that ball on the inside corner. And Edgar's looking for something else. That's a good pitch.
So now Jay Buhner. Now, Buhner had his usual 100 strikeouts last year, but he got them in only 266 at-bats. It's a major league record for the fewest at-bats during a 100 strikeout season.
Well, Jay with a down year last year, but been injured.
And when he does make contact, as you know, he's a pretty good bet to hit one a very long way.
Now watch Brian Moeller and watch Brad Ausmus. Brad Ausmus really moving around the plate. And Brian Moeller very sharp with hitting his target so far in this game.
On the ground at third, Dean Palmer takes it, wings it over to second, and that'll do it. Once again, the Mariners strand a pair. They've left on 6 in 3 innings. Brad Ausmus will lead off the Tiger third at Comerica Park right after this on Fox Sports Net. Tigers 4, Seattle nothing. We are getting to know the new ballpark. Our John Keating is out by the statues.
All right, Josh, thank you. The new ballpark is certainly a piece of the Tigers' future, but they've not forgotten about the Tigers' past. And there are 5 statues honoring 5 Tiger greats out here in center field, and the detail on these statues is just amazing. They were done by the Rotblatt Emrani studio of Highland Park, Illinois. Each statue required 850 man-hours of labor. So we did some quick math and totaled up that to make these 5 statues, it took 173 days. And the people responsible for these also were responsible for that Michael Jordan figure outside the United Center in Chicago. And there is space for one more statue, a pedestal still open, perhaps for a Tiger of the future, perhaps for a Tiger that they've already decided upon. We shall see. Josh and Gibby, back to you.
All right, John, thanks. And yes, the 6th statue is a TBA officially. A lot of conjecture about who it's going to be. Brad Ausmus at the plate ahead 2-0. You know, the really nice touch about those statues, too, is that they're stainless steel. We mentioned they were created in Illinois. They shipped them off to an art foundry in Lancaster, PA.
There's Mr. Kaline. Could somebody possibly hit a ball in there?
It is possible if you line up your home run just right.
Now we've got to go out and find some company to donate $1 million to a charity if somebody hits the glove. Should we work on that?
it'll be a pretty good project. 2-2 the count to Ausmus. You're more connected than I am, so I kind of defer to you.
You can say that again.
On the ground at third, Carlos Guillen takes his time, throws out Brad Ausmus. You know, John Keating mentioned each of those statues weighing about 1,500 pounds. Imagine reading that on your Alkaline baseball card. He's 13'2".
And over 2 tons. And you think about there, I believe that's Mr. Cobb. Did you notice how the spikes are up?
Yep, and how the dirt is flying there.
Ty Cobb known to come up with spikes a little high.
Palmer fouls one.
Almost in our booth.
Yeah, it proves that we're not completely immune. Even though we've moved from the Tiger Stadium foxhole, you can clear that home plate screen and still kind of curl one back to the mezzanine. Off speed, a little roller out in front of the plate. Dan Wilson takes charge. Rainbows the throw. Yes, he is. Safe at first.
Well, again, Dan Wilson right here goes and calls off Freddie Garcia, but he doesn't have time to get his feet underneath him. And you'll see how this ball goes high. There you see Dino. Look at here. He's throwing off his wrong foot. Ball up high. John Olerud unable to get his foot back on the base, and the first base umpire Mark Wegner with a good call.
Going to be an E2. Rare error for Dan Wilson. And the Tigers get another base runner, setting it up for Kareem Garcia.
You know, one of the things I'm noticing about the infield, again, I know it's wet, but I think because all this sand base underneath it, Josh, that the whole infield is going to be a much deader infield than the old Tiger Stadium was. That's going to be an adjustment that the Tigers and all clubs are going to have to make.
Garcia splintered his bat. His supposedly unbreakable bat that he is so fond of. He just lost a piece of it. These again are unusual game conditions. Normally he's swinging that bat in wind chills that are not in the 20s.
There's the new one now. See the end how it's cupped? That's how you get the splinter. There's a hole in there. What they do, if you look right there at the end of the bat, they kind of go in there and they take a tool and they take it out of there. That way you can use a heavier bat, but then you take a lot of the weight out of the end of the bat, so it's not so head heavy and it's not so hard to keep your bat on the level plane.
That's called the Sam bat. They make them up in Ottawa. Maple instead of ash is the difference. No contact made there from any wood. It's 1-2. And the guy that makes those bats, by the way, Gibby, a fellow by the name of Sam Holman up there in Ottawa, says, you know, the wooden propellers that you see, they're made out of maple, bowling pins, drumsticks. Why not bats? He went the unconventional maple route. And Garcia loves them. Foul ground. There's a little bit of it here at Comerica Park. It's locked up by the third baseman Guillen. Tomorrow it's a premiere of the all-new National Sports Report, the nightly news show that gives you the complete wrap-up in the sports from a fresh perspective. With internet interaction, news and highlights, opinions, and analysis, the National Sports Report takes you beyond the box score. It premieres tomorrow night at 10 right here on Fox Sports Net. With Kirk Gibson, Josh Lewin, John Keating, the rest of our production crew. Hope you're enjoying our 13 hours of coverage today. If you're watching this game in the afternoon, you can watch it again tonight. For those of you that were at the park today and you're watching it now tonight, welcome. Hope you had a great time today.
Or if you know somebody who couldn't watch the game today and didn't have a chance to put it in their VCR, make sure you give them a call and tell them to watch tonight.
Or if you can build a time machine out of a DeLorean, you can always go back in time and do this on endless loop all day.
Or just kidding.
Happy that it ends right there. 1-1 the count to Juan Encarnacion. Tigers scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second. First Tiger base hit belonged to Luis Polonia. It was a triple. Encarnacion takes down and in. We're going to get used to spelling his name a little bit differently now. They don't have quite enough characters on that lineup there on the new scoreboard, so that's how we're going to be looking at Juan's name. And what an incredible scoreboard that is in left field, the biggest in all of baseball.
Well, it sure is. It's big, and you see over here on the right side, it gives the bio of each player. That's where the videos are also run.
2-1 from Garcia. Pounded on the ground to short. Alex Rodriguez scoops it up. His play to first. And he gets Encarnacion. So the Tigers and the Mariners still in a 4-0 situation. The Tigers leading it on opening day at Comerica Park. And we'll have the Seattle 4th in just a moment on Fox Sports Net. For the first time ever, it's the Aflac trivia question from Comerica Park. How many square feet of sod used for the playing field of Comerica Park? And you have 3 choices. This is kind of like the, you know, the Regis thing here.
For the playing field or the infield?
The playing field, it says. The entire thing.
Well, let's figure it out.
Yeah,
330 feet down the one side.
You're not that good at math. Just wait. Wait till the bottom of the 4th inning. But look at all that dirt that they had to clear on out of here before they even started up.
Well, take the clay out, put the sand in. We've got some brickbacks also. Look at there. 76 miles. That gets you up to Flint and beyond.
I like the look of that brick, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Moeller to David Bell. Now, of course, his dad, a couple of years ago, when you thought of Comerica Park and the Tigers' future, you thought that Buddy Bell would be here to lead the team. Tigers went through Buddy Bell on to Larry Parrish, and now Phil Garner, who's got a 4-year deal. And obviously wanted a lot better start than 1-5. He had the guys very keyed up in spring training. They played some very good baseball that final week of spring training. Did not carry over to the first week of the regular season. And that's an unfortunate theme the last 3 years. It's been exactly the same story. The season opening road trip. The Tigers win the first game, then lose the next 5. That's happened 3 years in a row for 3 different managers. Bell bops one over towards Tony Clark. He strays away and leads Moeller for the first out here in the 4th inning.
I'll tell you, Brian Moeller, I don't think he was looking forward to going over there and covering first base on that play. Tony going far to his right. Brian getting over there a little quicker, having a little better angle on the bag.
Tigers with 2 in the first, 2 in the second. And let the record reflect the first RBI was from Greg Jeffries. The first Tiger hit a triple from Luis Polonia. Tigers have a pair of triples today, and we continue to ponder the possibilities of this being a terrific triples park. With those nooks and crannies all over the outfield. I know we make it sound like an English muffin when we say that. That ball tagged towards the right field corner. Wilson's going to run around as the ball is played off the wall by Kareem Garcia. That one's going to go for a double. And again, that's a lot of the conjecture about how this park is going to play. Terrific for doubles and triples. We're going to have to wait and see about home runs. So Wilson, who had been 0 for 10 against Moeller in his career, 2 out of 2 today.
Well, and here's one of the things about Comerica Park right here. Kareem Garcia does a good job. We're going to stop it right here. This is jetting this way, and then it edges out this way. Kareem does a good job. Go ahead and run it beyond. You want to take, see, there's the corner right there. See how it comes back out? If you go into that corner, that ball's going to go by you. They see some inside the Parkers this year.
Olsen had an inside the park grand slam against the Tigers a couple years ago. Now Guillen ropes one that way too. Garcia on the run, and he won't get it. He's got to chase it out of the corner. The Mariners will get on the board. Guillen trading places with Wilson. The bottom of the order comes through for Seattle. It's now 4-1.
Well, Kareem Garcia definitely not chilly after running after these two balls hit down in the corner. And Guillen first ball hitting. Again, there you see how it's angled right here. There's the angle right there. Ooh, pretty dangerous. See how Kareem went in there real tight? That ball gets by him, although today it's much slower. As the year goes on and things dry out a little bit, you're not going to want to go in that close. You're just going to concede a double. Give yourself a little more distance in that corner.
McLemore, top of the order, strike one. This is a guy who was born in Diamond Bar, California, lives in Scottsdale, Arizona, and thus the bundled up look today.
You know, if I'm a player, I got to believe a few of them are hitting the locker room between innings.
Ground ball to Jeffries at second. He's played a flawless second today in place of the injured Damian Easley.
You know, Greg Jeffries, when Damian Easley did get hurt, Tigers tried to decide what to do, and I believe that they're down in infield. They're the only club in baseball that, well, I think they only carry 5 infielders. But Greg Jeffries says, hey, I want to play second base any place but the bench. You know, Greg has said that since day one. He's had an opportunity early, got in a slump. Now he hasn't been a regular. Now he gets an opportunity to get back on the field on a regular basis and kind of prove that he does belong.
Mike Cameron with a lot to prove himself. This is a guy who will forever be known as the man who replaced Ken Griffey Jr. in center field.
Actually, Mike Cameron has played well. I don't know if anybody has watched some of the highlights of Mike Cameron and some of his catches so far this year. And funny enough, they're billing him as he takes a ball as the next best outfielder since Ken Griffey.
Well, and he says the only shoes that he can fill are the ones he's been wearing for the last 27 years. The others are, as he says, too big. Probably the right way to go about it. You are not going to replace a guy who's hit 400 home runs in his career already. Two and one the count. You know what's funny? Griffey getting traded to Cincinnati. Of course, he's a native of Cincinnati. Griffey's high school coach back at Cincinnati Moeller was named Mike Cameron. And here's Mike Cameron to replace Griffey in Seattle. A lot of fresh starts for the Seattle Mariner players. John Olerud comes home. Cameron will get a chance to prove last year in Cincinnati wasn't a fluke. And of course, for the Tigers, what better place to start anew than at a new ballpark? You mentioned Greg Jeffries and trying to prove that he still belongs in the big leagues. He comes to the same city, same team, but I think he figures a new ballpark represents a fresh chance for him.
Got him.
Yes, he did. Brian Moeller gives up a run, but is still pretty much cruising here in the 4th inning. The Tigers lead the Mariners by the score of 4-1. Opening day at Comerica Park. We'll continue right after this on Fox Sports Net. Tigers 4, Seattle 1 on the home opening day here in Detroit. Not where's Waldo, but where's Keating? Let's go back and find him.
Well, Josh, Tiger Stadium, to be quite honest, really needed to be replaced. But oftentimes teams need new homes just because they need more suites, and they certainly have those here at Comerica Park. We're going to give you just a peek inside. This is the Fox Sports Net suite. And we'll walk from the outside, where there are seats in the open air, to the inside, where the couches and the food and all the usual riffraff hangs out, waiting for the chance to go outside and see a bit of a ball game. Happy to be joined by the boss, Tom McLean, the general manager of Fox Sports Net. How important are these suites to corporate entities like your own?
I think they're very important. Obviously, we have a lot of our cable operators and our advertisers up here that do business with us throughout the course of the year. And it's a nice place to be able to come and talk about different things, or, you know, just take in a game and have the entertainment faction of our business take over.
So all these people here would be advertisers? Is that what you're trying to get me to believe? No, they're not advertisers. They just found their way in here somehow.
Right.
All right, let's go back to Josh Lewin and Kirk Gibson. Guys?
Thanks, John. Davy Cruz lofting one towards left. And over the shoulder, Rodriguez dropped it. Cruz will dig for 2, and he'll make it. So as they close the deals in the suite, Alex Rodriguez going back and trying to make that play over his shoulder. They're going to score that a base hit for Davy Cruz.
Well, Mark McLemore, the Mariners left fielder, doesn't do a good job. He kind of hangs A-Rod out to dry right here, and A-Rod not able to make the catch on this ball. Will take it. Davy Cruz cruises on into second base, nobody out. They got Luis Polonia. His job is to get Davy Cruz to third base so we can have that wonderful third base less than 2 out situation. It'll be up to Greg Jeffries to drive him in.
Well, the Tigers, as you say, Gibby, they've been frosty in this situation so far this year.
Well, I've got it mapped out. Let's see how it works out. Might bunt again. Phil Garner does a lot of bunting.
And that one takes a left turn, goes foul. 1 strike to count.
Now, if you're Luis Polonia and you're thinking about bunting, third baseman Guillen way in for Seattle, and over here at first base, John Olerud, he's right here and he'll be charging. Now, you might think, well, just bunt it here. Well, he's a left-hander, so he can throw it over there much easier than a right-handed first baseman.
Steps away. Garcia deals it down too low. Well, I tell you what, if you wanted a snapshot of what the Tigers are expecting from Polonia this year, you just saw it on the graphic. Some triples, and would you please walk a little bit this year? Rip and a miss right there, 1 and 2. Polonia has vowed he'll walk 50 times, as opposed to 16 last year. He does have a walk today. He is yet to strike out this season.
Freddie Garcia featuring that straight changeup he throws.
Popped up into the infield. Carlos Guillen says, move out of the way, I've got it. And he does.
There was another one right there.
Let's get you back to the Aflac trivia question, Gibby. And again, we did it in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire form with some choices for you. Wanting to know how many square feet of sod were used for the playing field at Comerica Park. Is that your final answer?
That is.
You're right.
See, you didn't think I knew how to do my math, did you? I think I used a bunch of different equations with the Pythagorean theory and all that stuff.
I think you also got an assist from the truck.
No, I didn't. I honestly said that was on my own. Don't try to discredit me.
All right, Copernicus. You're Mr. Math. I believe. Greg Jeffries singled in a run in the first. And again, he's in there because Damian Easley pulled the rib cage muscles in Baltimore. I'll tell you what, that right there is an awesome looking shot. One of our 17 cameras here today. You look at Garcia trying to pour it in. What a terrific hitter's background that appears to be, too. Jeffries takes inside. Let's
check today's player profile, brought to you by Toyota. It is Greg Jeffries, once a regular in 1991. So that's a regular second baseman with the Mets. 364 in the spring with 9 RBIs in 22 games, and everybody gets a second chance, and this is yours, Gregory.
On the ground towards second. David Bell throws out Greg Jeffries. And it'll come to Bobby Higginson. Now, Higgy's got one of the 2 triples hit today. We continue to believe that this will be a good triples park. And awesome that Bobby Higginson is already on the board with 1 as he's trying to jumpstart his season.
You know, I'm thinking about these triples, and if we're going to see this, and we're going to see all this much more running, are we going to see more hamstring injuries? That's what comes into my mind.
Higginson lofting that one towards left center. And as you know, plenty of room out there. Cameron coming in. And he's got it. So a leadoff single doesn't blossom. We'll see Alex Rodriguez, John Olerud, and Edgar Martinez in the Seattle fifth. The Tigers have the lead 4-1. Well, the Tigers lead Seattle 4-1. We move to the top of the fifth inning. And everybody regards this, it looks like, as a beautiful day despite 40-degree temperatures. You're looking at the Brush Fire Grill behind the third base line on the main concourse. You got some TV sets in there to watch what's being shown on TV, but more importantly, you can get right up and take a look at the grills as well. And if you're asking what's for dinner, well, beef, obviously, it's what's for dinner, but also Caribbean jerk chicken, among other things. They've got veggie burgers, they got fresh grilled salmon sandwiches. Not exactly what you were used to all those years at Tiger Stadium. We continue to get acclimated to our new surroundings. It is a 4-1 lead for the Tigers as Alex Rodriguez faces Brian Moeller. By the way, in this inning, the commissioner of Major League Baseball joining us in our broadcast booth. He's had to be happy with what he's seen in terms of a turnout, I would think. Bud Selig will be talking with us here as we play in inning number 5. And Mr. Selig, great to have you here. You look good. You looked warm out there on that field before the game.
Well, I wasn't. I mean, honesty impels me to tell you I was freezing. And, you know, for a guy who was born and raised in Milwaukee, I should be used to this. But it's cold. But I just asked Kirk, you remember other opening days like this? And
oh, yeah.
We got snowed out 4 times in the years that I was running the Brewers, so I'm used to all
Well,
this.
we had 6 inches here. Geez, I believe it was in 1982 or 86.
82, that's right.
Was it 82?
Right, yeah, because we had the same thing in Milwaukee. Yeah.
So the inch we got this morning, we dealt with that very quickly.
Yes, absolutely.
That was the year Sparky couldn't get out of his driveway.
Is that right?
Yeah. The pitch comes to Alex Rodriguez, and he bangs one to right center. Kareem Garcia hustling after it. And the Mariners get things going here in the 5th inning with a single from Rodriguez. He's been on base 3 times. Well, the new ballparks are opening. I mean, they're blossoming like little flowers here. And you've got the Enron Field, which is gorgeous down in Houston. Pac Bell Ballpark opens, well, in
3
about,
hours?
Yeah, I mean, you're coming right up
very
on
shortly,
it.
Yeah.
And obviously, this facility back in Milwaukee, in your hometown, that's been delayed a year, but I hear that's going to be beautiful too.
It is. Well, you know, I was in Pac Bell. We flew back from Japan. I flew all night to get back there because they dedicated the Willie Mays Plaza, and it's wonderful. And I was in Enron at Enron Field Friday night to dedicate it, and here I am today. And I want to tell you, it's unbelievable. When I walked in here today, the thing that so impresses you, Josh and Kirk, is that here's a brand new ballpark, but it looks like an old ballpark, and it has all those wonderful features. John McHale asked me.
That ball swept over to Palmer at third. He gets 1, and that's it. Jeffrey's hurtling out of the way.
Asked me what park I thought this looked like, and I haven't been around enough, but it does have some of the characteristics of Wrigley Field. Seats, the way they are, the way the stands are structured. Now, you know, the Wrigley has a lot of stuff. Of course, people sitting up in the buildings across the street reminds you of Wrigley.
Right.
And that's the best compliment that you can pay any stadium, but this place is absolutely magnificent.
Well, we will have the ivy. You can see it out there in center field that they do have it started. That's going to be growing. And also 365 in right center. That's also the same as Wrigley Field. So when you say that, and Wrigley Field was my favorite National League ballpark when I did play.
Tigers will be heading there at the beginning of June for the first time since the 45 World Series. Yeah.
Now, I don't know, you've been to every park, all the new parks. This park being down in, dug down in, are other parks like that? It seems like kind of a nice feature. You're kind of snuggled in.
Kirk, this is different.
Martinez slugging one to left. Higginson tracks it down. That ball hit as well as any today. Sorry to interrupt you there.
All right. No. You guys go ahead and do the game. That's important. Kirk, this is the thing that I love about these. This is reminding me of the way stadiums were in the 40s, 50s, and before they started building them, where they all looked the same in the 60s. Each one is so distinctive that it really makes you feel good. If you were to ask me today which park do you like the best of the 3, I couldn't tell you. I love all 3 of them because all 3 of them have their distinctive qualities.
Let me ask you another question now. You know, I don't know how long you've been around, but I can only hear and hear what I hear. But this park is so big on one side of the field and you know, reasonable on the other side of the field. Is that something that you would like to see? I mean, to me, it promotes good defensive play. It promotes the game of baseball. It promotes managing and managing your players better.
Absolutely, it does, and there's no question about that.
Juan Encarnacion has the ball skipped by him. Buhner gets on his horse and gallops to second. The run comes in. Buhner heading for third. Jeffrey's relay throw is not going to get there in time, and it's now 4-2. Well, we've chronicled the fact that Juan has had some problems in the outfield the first week of the season. And on, again, what is a very hard grass right now because it's so cold out there. The ball just skipped right by him.
Well, it does skip by him, and, you know, here's what Juan has to get better at. You made the error, you got to get on your horse, and you got to pick it up, and you got to pick it up in a hurry. And look, he pauses right here because he does have a chance to get the runner at third base. And hearing those boos, I'm going to tell you, I've been there. It's something he's going to have to deal with. And I don't care what your makeup is. If you want to be a good player in the major leagues, you're going to have to deal with those type of things. It's got to motivate you. It's got to motivate you to change your game and to step up.
Now Bell right back to Brian Muller, and that's some terrific defense right there. Commissioner Bud Selig has joined us here in the top of the 5th inning. And again, Mr. Selig, thank you so much. Congratulations on another great new ballpark opening up here in Major League Baseball.
Thank you, Josh. Kirk, it's a pleasure to be with you, and really, it is a thrill for me to be here today, and I wish all of you just great success in the future.
Thank you. Well, we're looking forward to a great year. The Tigers still have the lead despite the Juan Encarnacion error. It is 4-2 halfway through the opener. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Net, brought to you by Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. Lowe's improving home improvement, and by United Automobile Workers and General Motors, committed to supporting tomorrow's Olympians. Now you take a look at baseball's largest scoreboard, and it is a marvel. 202 feet wide, 147 feet high at the crest of the G and the E in Tigers. And those Tigers growl and their eyes light up when the Tigers hit a home run. We're still waiting for that. We've seen a couple triples.
Now, I was asked if anybody could hit a ball over the G in Tigers.
Yeah, with a cannon.
You think it'll ever happen? I said no way, and I don't think. Maybe you can get on the bottom of the scoreboard.
Tony Clark gets under that one, and it drifts back in back of the infield. David Bell drifting too, and makes a one-hand catch. So each of those Tigers, they tell us, weighs 5,000 pounds. And those were one of the last elements at the ballpark. Those were just cemented up there, not just a couple days ago, I guess.
Just think the technology it takes to get them up there and to make sure they're secured.
Brad Ausmus takes it, and Gibby, if you'll let me,
go ahead.
I just want to take a little time here in this inning to just give a shout out to the construction workers, and I hope a lot of them are watching right now.
Well, actually, they're sleeping.
Well, they've done an unbelievable job. And right around the time the last Detroit ballpark was built, I'll throw something at you from the poet and playwright Bertolt Brecht, which, you know, we do very often on these broadcasts, quote Bertolt Brecht. But he wrote the following piece of prose. He said, "The books are filled with the names of kings. But was it kings who hauled the craggy blocks of stone? In the evening, when the Chinese wall was finished, where did the masons go?" There's a strike to Ausmus. I hope the masons, the construction workers who built this ballpark right up from nothing, went to their favorite tavern today to toast the masterpiece they've made. This is
if they
pretty good.
Got seats.
Right. Well, and many of them were here in the park a couple hours ago. Ausmus rolling one to third. Guillen bobbles it, now flings it across. He gets Ausmus. Part of the pregame ceremony, they had an incredibly large American flag that they unfurled. The men doing the unfurling, 250 strong, were all members of that Comerica Park construction crew. So they got a very rousing
round of applause.
They really did. I mean, and I think a lot of people kind of got emotional. You saw some of the guys on the field, the women, as well as the men. that contributed in the construction of this ballpark. And it was tough not to get emotional up here because you just know how hard those guys worked, especially during a cold Detroit winter. Palmer, a swing and a miss. So just great to see them recognized before the first pitch was actually thrown. And guys, if you're watching, your work is noticed. It is appreciated.
Well, you know, thinking about the pressures that we're all under on a daily basis. And I was just thinking about this on the way in. The Tigers have not claimed that the park will be open for today. And we were down here yesterday. Everybody was still hard to work. Look at the pressure to get this thing ready to go.
Outside 2-2 now.
And just how do you know that it's going to be ready? Because it was close. I guess that's what you call driving yourself to get the job done.
Another foul from Dean Palmer. Tigers lead the game 4-2. Well, undoubtedly there will be some things that we'll hear about tomorrow, things that didn't work exactly right. And that's what this first homestand is for, to work out whatever kinks need to be worked out.
Or things that did work and do work good. I can guarantee you that the fire alarm and emergency system works well here. We heard it 6 or 7 times yesterday, and it went off once today. That's very important.
Palmer takes a walk.
That 2 walks for Dino today.
Yes, it is. And the Tigers, you know, we talked about this so often in spring training, needing to be more Yankee-like in terms of their approach at the plate. Being more patient, taking more walks. The Tigers have plenty more walks than the Yankees do right now. So on approach, you give them some credit. Wins and losses, you don't quite yet. It's a 1-5 start.
Well, we're on top right now. We're trying to improve on that.
It's 4 walks in a round of 5 innings today for the Tigers. Kareem Garcia belting one. That's going to curl away down the left field line. Bill Madlock is the new Tiger hitting coach, and it is pretty much his charge to make sure the Tigers are as patient as he was in his playing day. This is a guy that only struck out 500 times and walked 600 times in his big league career.
And Bill Madlock's got a great facility. Now, just down behind him, down back here, is the tunnel to dual batting cages. Heated, well lit, and he'll be putting a lot of time in there with these Tiger players. You know, part of the key to being able to draw walks is confidence, and you got to have a confidence that you can shape that swing and hang in there with 2 strikes on you.
Garcia polished off, though, here with the 2nd strike. Pretty nice pitch from Freddie Garcia. No relation, Freddie and Kareem. Goes down, tries to get it again and couldn't. And that will end the Tigers' 5th inning. We'll see Dan Wilson and company now for the Mariners as we get set for the 6th at Comerica. 4-2 ties. Heading now to the top of the 6th inning, the new digs, Comerica Park. As you see the Detroit Athletic Club out there, it kind of looks like a posh athletic club inside. That's the Tigers clubhouse.
No, that is not the Tigers den. And you can see how big and expansive it is right there. Nice couches, tables all over. You can see CJ right there.
It is a huge room. No wispy machine in there, I noticed, though.
There is ice cream. Actually, I went in there looking for fresh snacks yesterday. Jim Schmeichel did not have them displayed yet.
Well, Jim Schmeichel has been pulling all-nighters the last couple of days here, so we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Think about Jim Schmeichel. He's been in spring training. He went out to Oakland, down to Baltimore, has 2 days to move in here.
Longtime Tigers clubhouse manager. Moeller to Dan Wilson. And Wilson in this game with a couple of base hits, his first 2 ever against Brian Moeller. Brian Moeller right now as he works into the 6th inning. No action behind him in the bullpen. Up to 88 pitches.
Gotta believe they'll let him go between 110 and 120.
Wilson almost offering at the slider, did not. The Seattle dugout. Somebody ducked to get out of the way and didn't quite make it.
No, he made it. That was almost the first I caught you. You know, here he had a 10-pointer here, a 20, and if you get all 3 of them, that's called a strike.
Yeah, keep the cap on that Diet Pepsi over there. That could have been a nasty spill.
And that ball hit right there. And if fans, if you come down there and you're sitting there, I can tell you, beware. There's a little guy. There's the first youngster to get a baseball at Comerica Park.
Rolled slowly to third. Here comes Palmer. He's got a bare hand, and he gets rid of it, but can't get Wilson, who's 3 for 3. Remember, he had been 0 for 10 career against Moeller. Leadoff single for Seattle. Carlos Guillen coming up next.
Dan Wilson, he just kills the Tigers is the way I remember it. Boy, it's a shame that this gets to be a hit. We're going to watch it from low home right here. You see the ball just kind of lays down, and Dino's got to come in and bare-hand it. Unable to get anything on it, and that ball's probably pretty wet. Does a good job of grabbing it. You see you got to kind of 3 or 4 finger it instead of 2 finger it.
So the tying man comes to the plate. It is Carlos Guillen, who doubled last time. If you're just joining us, the first ever hit at this ballpark went to John Olerud back in the 1st inning. A double to right. First pitch was a called strike at 117 this afternoon. Brian Moeller to Mark McLemore. And the first Tiger hit was maybe appropriately a triple. We expect to see a lot of those. Luis Polonia got it on a ball that glanced off the glove of Mike Cameron in center. Moeller missing high, 2-0.
I think Phil Garner will have to keep a close eye on Brian Moeller right now. Really giving him good, strong 5 innings. You know he's pitching on a tender ankle.
Oh, he's given up 10 hits.
Brad Ausmus out to have a little chat with him.
Seattle has stranded runners in every inning. 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, 2 in the 3rd. 1 in the 4th and 5th. Add it all up, that's 8 left on base through 5 innings. That one crosses at the knees. It's 2-1.
We haven't had our first double play, have we?
Nope.
I think I sensed something.
There's an knee-high strike again, 2-2. Nice of Phil Garner to take some time right before the game to chat with us. Hope you got a chance to hear from him from inside the Tiger clubhouse. That ball missing inside.
Well, let's take a look down at the Tigers bullpen. It's totally empty right now, and I'm kind of half expecting maybe somebody might be loosening up. There's really nobody in either bullpen, and I'm wondering, Josh, if maybe the players aren't under in the batting cages today because it's so cold out and they'll warm up there.
Could well be. That ball twisting, heading out of play.
Well, you know, Commissioner Seelig was talking about in the olden days, and that's kind of how in the olden days they used to trot him in from the dugout.
Right.
Actually, they used to warm up right there in the on-deck circle.
But, you know, I thought the commissioner made a pretty good point talking about the common thread of all the new ballparks open really since the underwhelming new Comiskey Open. They've all got something unique about them. Baltimore has a warehouse. Arizona, the swimming pool. This year, San Francisco's got the bay. And, of course, here, maybe more than anything, what Detroit has, besides the dancing waterfalls and the carousel, what they've got is Detroit. The awesome view of downtown might become one of the staples of this place.
Well, you can tell the weather's getting ready, getting better. You see the airplanes flying around now. We didn't see that earlier. The skies are lifting. There they go, pulling the banner.
That ball down and in. Carlos Guillen has bumped Wilson over to second. It's 2 on, nobody out. And Moeller up and over. 90 pitches, getting up towards 100. Folks, tomorrow it's the premiere of the all-new National Sports Report, the nightly news show that gives you the complete wrap-up in sports. Internet interaction, news and highlights, opinions, and analysis. We'll take you beyond the box score. The National Sports Report premieres tomorrow night at 10, only right here on Fox Sports Net. Well, now you've got the top of the order, Mark McLemore. Tying man at first for Seattle. And the bunt deadened and fouled right there near home plate.
See Phil Garner talking to his bench coach there. That's Bob Melvin on the left. A lot of conversation going on right now, so.
McLemore normally a pretty good bunter. And we'll see if they fire it up again. It's 0-1. Looking to swing, and he pounds it to Tony Clark. Got him! Races there and gets the double play!
Yeah.
Gibby, you called it a couple minutes ago. It wasn't the conventional double play. It was a spectacular double play for 2 outs.
Well, Tony's in on the grass, and Lou Piniella rolls the dice here. Thinks, well, I'm going to get it through the hole. There you see the ISO. And Guillen is caught off base. Look how far behind Tony he is right there. Now, the rule as a runner is you want to be 1 step further than the first baseman. And Guillen's got to let that ball go through. And Tony Clark with a great reaction play right there, and doubles off Guillen. 2 away here. Good help to Brian Moeller and the Tigers.
Clark had a pair of terrific plays in Baltimore on Saturday. Cameron waves and misses a changeup from Moeller. Tigers have made 3 errors today. Seattle has 10 hits, but it's 4-2 Detroit. Again, nothing brewing in the bullpen right now for either side. Moeller up and over 100 pitches. Went 6 innings in Oakland 6 days ago. That was a loss. Slapped foul and caught. Nice play down there by a cold Comerica Park patron. That'll warm you up a little bit.
See, he brought his gloves.
Well, no question, Michiganders were going to know how to dress
I hope
for
that
this
guy
one today.
wasn't supposed to be working today. We just busted him.
We exposed you, sorry. Runner at second, 2 out. And a check swing, did he go? No sale, says who we believe to be Mark Wegner down there at first base.
He has now joined the Bandit squad.
Jim Reynolds, the second base umpire. He was here for closing day at Tiger Stadium. Young umpire out of Connecticut. And he joins Rick Reed, again the native Detroiter, getting the honor of having home plate today. Rick Reed was at Tiger Stadium as a fan for the '84 World Series. 2-2 pitch. Belted to right field. Kareem Garcia to the track. And we're still looking for our first Comerica Park home run. Brian Moeller online to get a victory. It is 4-2 Tigers over the Mariners. He was helped out. You called Tony Clark a bandit earlier. Well, he sure played like one. He turned it terrific. Double play. Tigers 4, Seattle 2 as we unwrap the beautiful new stadium, Comerica Park. And there are new toys for everyone. The trainers have some new digs. That's the old stuff.
And that's the whole room right there. That's a nice whirlpool that we used to take a dip in. Now here's the new one. That's a big, and that is a rehab whirlpool. Very big and spacious. There you see the training room in behind it and the little ones behind.
Slightly larger, slightly more comfortable for Russ Miller. And for Steve Carter, they do a great job.
Well, I hope that helps to get players to play maybe when they're injured sometime. With all those new facilities and new technology.
Juan Encarnacion against Freddie Garcia on appeal. He did not swing. It's 1-0. Tigers are without Damian Easley today. The rib cage muscle pull.
And that's a bad one. I've had one of those, and that's probably a 4 to 6 weeker if he indeed did rip it.
And we're all waiting for Juan Gonzalez to come back from the hamstring problem. You know that Juan would have loved to have been out there to be introduced among the starters to the big crowd here this afternoon, but he could not make it happen. Count 3-0 to Encarnacion, a good sign, because this is one of the guys that you really want to start in terms of taking more walks. Brian Moeller online for the win. There you go. Juan Encarnacion, a leadoff walk in the 6th inning.
That's great.
Needs some more of those this year. He and
second one already this year. Last year he didn't get more than 10, did he?
Well, you had
14 out of 500 at bats.
Yeah, you had only 2 players in baseball last year that got up 500 times, didn't walk at least 15. They bat back-to-back for the Tigers, and Encarnacion and this guy Davy Cruz. And again, both men know what they're being instructed to do this year. That is, get more walks. Look out, Cruz buckles back.
And I've been watching Freddie Garcia all game. He's a guy, it seems like you could really get a decent jump off him, and you see Davy Cruz square around the bunt. We're going to keep an eye on Juan Encarnacion over there at first base. Maybe he'll steal and then be bunted over. And I haven't really had the luxury of standing on this part of the infield to feel the texture and how hard it is and just how fast it is. Oh, Garcia almost balked again there.
Walked in a run back in the 1st inning with the bases loaded.
See how that slow leg kick?
And Cruz bunts it foul to count 1-1.
Boy, I'd like to see Juan steal that back. A lot of bunting so far this year by the Tigers, and that is definitely Phil Garner and his attitude. He wants to see players move. There you see Mr. Mansolino giving the signs over to Juan Encarnacion.
Mansolino, one of the new additions to the Tigers, but not to Phil Garner. He was a base coach for him the last couple of years in Milwaukee.
On the first.
And Encarnacion back in.
Now, when you're a base runner and you're base stealer, you look for various clues if he's going to throw over to first. And watch this toe right here. It's tucked in. He's going home. Oh, he had me.
Gibby picked off in the bottom of the Tiger 6th.
But you look at things like that, and I thought last time that it was pointed a little forward. See right here, there's the move, and that's kind of a jump move. One in safely.
The worst things have happened to you on home openers than that.
Oh, been picked off, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I haven't been watching it too closely, but he had me there.
Garcia's 1-1. Again, the bunt is coming. This time it's Olerud coming in to David Bell covering. So the sacrifice from Davy Cruz, his 2nd of the afternoon. fans have left their seats. They are now walking around the ballpark. I think one of the popular standing areas is going to be right out there, Gibby, by the statues. You get a great look leaning on those railings.
Yeah, if you keep going to the right there, you'll see a pretty good crowd that is gathered already.
Capacity crowd of 40,000 at the beginning of it today to watch the ceremonies and the first pitch. Bologna takes down and outside, and we mentioned it. Freddie Garcia has always been tough on these Detroit Tigers. It's not a long history, but a win today gives him 4 wins against the Tigers in 4 starts in 4 different ballparks: Kingdome, Tiger Stadium, Safeco Field, and now gunning for here. In the air to center. And it's Mike Cameron settling under it. Encarnacion ready to tag, but he hangs at second base after the second out.
Smart play to stay.
Folks, we invite you to be here tomorrow. It'll be the first night game ever at Comerica Park. Come see what it looks like under the lights when the Tigers take on the Mariners at 7:05. The first 10,000 fans get a Tigers calendar sponsored by the Tigers Visa card. For tickets, 248-25 Tiger. We're told there are tickets remaining really for the entire rest of the homestand in the race to get here to the opener. Let's not forget that the Mariners are still in Wednesday and Thursday. The Devil Rays over the weekend. Jeffries takes. Garcia up and over 100 pitches for the afternoon.
Be a big hit for the Tigers right here. Greg Jeffries and hit in Juan Encarnacion. Give the Tigers a 3-run lead here. Going into the 7th. We'll break that pitch count down for you a little bit. You see 61 strikes, 42 balls.
They really struggled through that first inning. 29 pitches, including a couple of 2-out walks and a 2-out balk. Down and in to Jeffries, who actually gets to take his own freeway to work from out in the western suburbs. That's where he lives here in the Detroit area. Yeah. Spelled a little differently. Freddie Garcia's 2-1. Breaking ball for a strike. You see, he keeps blowing on the pitching hand literally after every pitch he delivers.
Normally that's illegal. It would normally be a ball, but the umpires give permission when the weather is inclement and cold. You want the pitcher to have a good feel for the ball. You want to let it get away.
Stroke towards center. Cameron started back, has to race in, and he won't get it. Jeffries on the bobble out there, going for second. He dives in there. The Tigers do have the extra run. It's 5-2. Center fielders having some problems out there today.
Well, again, it's a perception thing. New ballpark. You can see right there. There he was. He broke back, unable to get in. And Greg Jeffries on the bobble, very alert. Goes on to second base and gives Bobby Hickinson a chance to let the Tigers pick up a free run here. No reason to bare hand that ball. You got a glove on the other hand. You want to use that leather and your bare hand to grasp that ball and secure it.
Single E8 and an RBI. Here's Higginson. Only the second time today he hasn't put the first pitch to him in play.
Bobby Higgy's hit a fastball to center field for his triple. He was gotten out last time on a splitter. I'm sitting off speed.
Indeed, down in the dirt, 2-0.
Well, you've got base open and first base. Tony Clark in the on-deck circle, who has struggled a little bit today, and with Freddie Garcia.
Brian Price, the young pitching coach for the Mariners, out to talk to Garcia. We have still yet to see either bullpen go to work here.
That we know of.
That's right. Both teams elected to stretch inside today. You've got a roomy enough clubhouse to do that. fact, you could play highlight in there, both clubhouses.
Highlight? Why would you pick that game?
I don't know. Just
maybe
kinda...
lacrosse.
Good soccer. You could play soccer.
Big-time wrestling.
No wrestling. Thank you.
You and I? A little tag team?
If we're tag team, that's fine. I'm not going mano a mano.
Well, you're the sacrificial lamb. You go first.
Obviously, I saw you with Joey.
Then you reach for me, and then I just can't touch you.
I saw you with Joey Koster on the locker room the other day. Higginson drives one right field.
Oh, it's going to go foul.
Poking away, and Higginson stood and watched as it did so. They don't have the overhang anymore. You do have what is still obviously a fair right field. And you wonder how long it's going to take some of these lefty hitters to adjust to what is now kind of a regular dimension down there instead of Tiger Stadium.
Well, the wind is blowing straight out to right.
Higginson backed off, 3-1.
Okay, 3-1. First base open. Tony Clark on deck. What do you set?
I got to be looking for that fastball here on 3-1.
Well, not me. I'm looking for something off speed.
You got it. But that's the pitch that he carved up Higginson with last time. Now does he double up, go back there again on 3-2?
I can't tell you that. That's the old saying, though. Whatever he threw you 2-2, he goes 3-2. Now you've got to protect against the fastball. And sit on the off speed.
Off speed, hammered back to the net. Got kind of a rolling breaking pitch up there.
And Higgy with a good cut right there. He was sitting back, waiting for it. Saw it too good, actually. A little bit of an overswing. I had just a little feel for a big bomb right here. Somebody's going to hit a home run for us.
Higginson fouls it. Tigers with 2 in the first, 2 in the second. They had a 4-0 lead. Seattle came back with 1 in the fourth and 1 in the fifth. Tigers have a run in here in the sixth. Greg Jeffries, his second RBI of the afternoon. Tigers have hit a pair of triples. We have not seen a home run yet at Comerica Park from either side.
Off speed.
Higginson belts it, and it rockets foul. We'll do a 3-2 again.
Gosh, Higgy, stay back a little longer on that. He's locked in. Good approach, good at bat. I want to see those Tigers growl on top of that scoreboard. I want to see those waters dance. I want to add a little color to it.
Ninth pitch of the at-bat. And a foul ball will necessitate a 10th. Jeffries again has been one of the hitting stars for the Tigers today. We mentioned the Tigers have a couple of triples in what should be a triples park. Wahoo Sam Crawford's got the Tiger record, by the way, 26 of them in one season. The third year at Michigan in Trumbull, 1914. Luis Polonia's got a triple today. This one's in play, but right to the third baseman, Guillen. And he throws out Bobby Higginson after the 10th pitch of that at-bat. We'll see Alex Rodriguez, John Olerud, Edgar Martinez. When we come back, it'll be the Mariners' 7th inning on Fox Sports Net. Weeknights at 6 and 11. Right here on Fox Sports Net. We are right here at Comerica Park. First time we've been able to say that. First of many. And John McHale, the Tigers president, is the man that helped with the vision of Mr. Ilitch. And well, congratulations, John. This obviously is, it's not an 80-degree day, but this is Detroit, Michigan. I don't think we should be surprised by that. You've got a lot of happy customers down there, though.
Josh, do you have enough room?
Yeah, thanks. I do.
How's the view? Okay.
This is wonderful.
All right. Kirk, is the window clear?
So far, so
Okay.
good. I'm not going to complain.
Okay.
Well, you know, we don't want to be the first ones complaining here today. You know,
you won't be.
Danny Patterson takes over. You know, Kirk and I were saying about 20 minutes ago. I think that's kind of what the first homestand of any new ballpark is all about. You find out what the wrinkles are, you identify them, you smooth them out. You've got some time to work this out, hopefully quickly.
Oh, sure. Well, just as the players have to learn how the park plays, all of our systems and the people involved in our systems have to shake themselves out too, from delivery of services to ushering to food and all that kind of stuff.
So overall, everything's, you know, you open the park like you said you would. My question was, how did you really know that it was going to be on time? Because it's amazing. We've watched kind of it came right down to the wire, didn't it?
Well, it did, Kirk, as a matter of fact. And sometimes you just have to believe. You have to just visualize. Somebody once told me that you can be successful if you visualize yourself being successful, and then your conduct matches the expectations that your mind sets for it.
So I think I read that in a book somewhere, as a matter of fact.
We convinced ourselves that it would open on time, and lo and behold, here we are.
The Kirk Gibson philosophy pays off here at Comerica Park. Shane Halter, by the way, into the game now to play second base. And it is Danny Patterson, the former Texas Ranger, on the mound against Alex Rodriguez. We're chatting with John McHale. Patterson just missing. Well, have you had a chance? I asked you before the game today if you'd really had a chance just to kind of settle in, take a deep breath. You said probably not till tonight. Have you had any time to yourself at all today to enjoy this?
Well, not too much. Part of what I've been enjoying today is spending time with people of all variety that have worked to make this a reality. We've had people fly in from California that had seminal roles in the development of the program back in 1995 and 1996. We've had distinguished visitors like the commissioner. We've had great old Tigers here, and so I've been trying to spend a little bit of time with all of them, and that's been a terrific way to enjoy the day so far.
Alex Rodriguez is on with a leadoff walk. Brian Moeller, by the way, for the second time in 2 starts this year, going 6 innings. The difference is this time for Phil Garner, he's on line for a victory. 5-2 Detroit, as we continue to chat with Tigers president John McHale.
Now, how do you make the decision? You got a forecast for 2 to 4 inches. I mean, then it goes 1 to 3, and then maybe we'll only get an inch. And I mean, when's like your do or die time? When do you have to make the decision?
Well, I think today we were determined to do everything we could to get the game in. So I think we came to the park very, very early this morning with a reasonable shot given what we'd seen of the weather forecasts, and we were just going to try to play it right up to game time with the hopes that the weather might break for us, and it got good enough. It's a Michigan day.
You know, and that's the response. I was out talking to people, and they said, hey, they totally expected it to go on, and I think you would have caught a lot of flack if you would have canceled it. I mean, they expected it.
It just wasn't that bad a day to be pessimistic about our chances. And of course, after working as everybody has over the last month to try to come to today, we were determined to give it every shot.
You know, you really don't realize the full scope of how many people are involved until you start walking around here in the tunnel of the stadium. I mean, you're basically the host of a 40,000 person luncheon today, and there's a lot that goes into that.
Yes, indeed.
2-0 to Olerud, catches the outside corner, 2-1.
Well, we've been kind of watching how the players have responded to the field. We've already watched 2 triples today, which I don't think we have 2 triples in the game last year at Tiger Stadium. And now we're looking at Danny Patterson here. He's come in, walked A-Rod, struggled a little bit with the strike zone. You wonder how the pitchers are going to adapt to the mound. Is that the same mound pretty much? Is that the specs to it?
Yeah, it is pretty much the same specs. The pitching staff and the pitching coach worked pretty closely with Heather Nabosny to make sure we took the dimensions from Tiger Stadium and reinstalled them here, and it's been in pretty good shape for a number of weeks. So I'd be a little bit surprised if the construction of the mound was causing any of these problems.
Tigers lead it 5-2, 2-1 the count to Olerud, who had this stadium's first ever hit. Flashing that one to left. Higginson drifting back, still going, reaching up, he's got it. Nice job by Bobby Higginson in retreating very quickly as Alex Rodriguez to first.
Excellent route by Bobby out there, and I think, in my opinion, and Josh, and maybe you agree with me, the neatest or the coolest thing, which is a really good touch thing, I want to know whose idea this was the home plate over the home plate. I mean, who came up with that? Is it anywhere else? Are you going to take credit for that one?
No, I won't take credit for it. Virtually every good idea in this ballpark, Kirk, belongs to Mike Ilitch. And
that's pretty cool right there.
I'll leave it at that.
Well, you've got obviously the statues, the stainless steel statues, which is such a great touch. to put them over the top out there in left center. Still a flagpole in play. And I think as we look around too, John, I mean, you kind of cast your eyes out towards right field beyond the bullpens. That Pepsi picnic porch already seems like it's been kind of a magnet. People are going to check that out.
Yeah, that's been a very attractive place for people to stop and watch a little bit of the game, as has been the concourse between that area and center field.
We'll show you that in just a moment. San Francisco did something similar at Pac-Bell Park. Ownership there figured we want to have the public have access to this ballpark from outside. You get to walk around and actually peer right in. And you check out the picnic porch up high, but down below that, over the retired names and numbers, you've got the ability to just kind of stroll by and take a look in. Tigers by 3 on a chilly opening day. Home opener of the year 2000, the first time that we've had an opening day in Detroit anywhere other than the corner of Michigan Trumbull in, well, a very long time. That one floats in for a strike. It's 1-1. Rick Reed, we've mentioned it, John, just to kind of tie in some history. He's got a home plate today, and he put in his papers to make sure that he would have opening day today.
Yeah, isn't that great that Rick could be here?
Absolutely. Detroit native. And you see a lot of people with ties to Detroit coming back. They did for the closing of Tiger Stadium. They're here for this debut today. Patterson just missing 2-1.
I think Danny Patterson wanted that pitch. Now, I got it. What would you say? Is 95% done down the stadium? I mean, what's the 5% left? Now, where are your digs at? Are you over here yet, or are you still over at Michigan and Trumbull?
No, I'm still at Michigan and Trumbull. We've got a whole third floor of our office building, which has to get finished, along with a lot of minor plastering and flooring kinds of stuff around the ballpark.
Martinez whacks one towards the right side out of play.
Did the guys pretty much work last 48 hours? Was it going pretty much around the clock?
Around the clock, the last 48 hours. We got some requests if we couldn't have a 2:05 start, right? But we drew a line in the sand at 1:05 and said they had to stop working, no matter how much or how little they got done by then.
All capacity crowd to begin it here, 40,000. Which seems to put the laws of supply and demand pretty much perfectly here in Detroit. Cleveland, a similar kind of capacity. That ball stroked towards right center. And Garcia moving under it. He's got it. That'll be the second down. Of course, we started talking about it a little bit as well, that it's a nice long homestand to begin this. 9 games, as a matter of fact, John, in 10 days. Is that a good thing or in some ways a bad thing?
Well, it's a mixed blessing. It certainly will be good from an operational standpoint. Whether it's a good thing from a weather standpoint remains to be seen. But we'll see Tampa Bay and we'll see Boston in here, and so the players will get a very good sense of what the park plays like early in the season.
Can you make arrangements to have it be 39 degrees of game time for Pedro Martinez, please?
That may give us an edge.
Yeah, that's a little over my head, but I'll see what I can do.
Well, put in your papers like Rick Reed did.
Yeah.
Buhner sails one into left. That's a base hit. Rodriguez coming around second. He's going to dig for
second base.
Higginson goes to third base, too late, but holding it first is Jay Buhner with his 3rd single of the afternoon. Well, the noted a home run hitter, singling up a storm. He's got an infield single, 1 to center, now 1 to left.
Well, you might have heard me say second base. That's the normal thing that you do right here. You're going to watch Higgy. And I believe you take him, he's going to get down in the corner right here, and he does peek back and look at the runner on first base right here. Notices he's not going, so he takes a little peek. Then he goes ahead and takes a shot at third base, doesn't get it. Tigers now faced with the 1st and 3rd, 2 out. Danny Patterson faced with a little bit of a dilemma right here.
Kirk Buhner did a nice job of not trying to do too much there. He just got a ball that he could hit and just took it right into left field.
Well, he did right there, and when you watch some of the batters that have been around for a while, they generally have a game plan, much the way I know that Phil Carter's really preached that a lot with his ball club so far, is kind of realize who's on the mound. And you look at Danny Patterson right here struggling a little bit, and on his breaking ball maybe he's going to try and filter it in there a little more, not snap it off as much.
Well, the Mariners have announced John Mabry as a pinch hitter. Phil Garner is out there. And again, assumably, there have been the Tigers warming up inside. Doug Brocail is ready to come on. And John, do you mind hanging with us? So far, you've been pretty good luck, so we really can't let you leave quite yet.
I'm here.
All right, very good. More with John McHale in just a moment. Tigers trying to get to the 7th inning stretch, still with a 5-2 lead. We'll be right back.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Detroit Tigers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Detroit Tigers.
One of the top of the scoreboard Tigers.
Tiger.
2.5 tons worth of Tiger. Doug Brocail takes over on the mound. He, too, a little bit ferocious. And hopefully can carve up Mr. John Mabry, who's going to pinch hit right now. Brocail, 5 hits in 3 1/3 innings. Took the loss in Baltimore, giving up a hit in the 10th inning on Saturday. It's runners at the corners, 2 out. John Mabry represents the tying run. 5-2 Tigers. They scored 2 in the first, 2 in the second. Raced out 4-0 today. Mabry swats it right back this way. We continue to chat with Tiger president John McHale. Well, if you had to label it, I guess, John, I mean, I know you've been looking so forward to this day, as Tiger fans have. I mean, can you actually label it a success yet, or does it need to be a Tiger victory to pull that through?
Well, having the day is a wonderful start, and I told myself all morning that if we could just get the game in and have a successful opening, I'd be satisfied. But of course, as soon as the bell rings and the first pitch goes, you revert to form and you become a competitor again. So now we got to win the game.
I don't think people realize just how competitive Mr. McHale is right here. I know that's true, and of course you had a little competitive nature from Notre Dame when you were down there, but you really got it. You can't just be satisfied with the park's open, can you?
Oh, not a bit. The park is a means to an end, Kirk. It's a means in the 21st century to getting us the kind of ball club that will return us to the World Series, and that's our full focus now, beginning today.
And I know you and Mr. Ilitch take a lot of pride too in how this ballpark will help the renaissance of the entire downtown.
That's very important too, but I say again, really at heart.
This is a football guy.
You want a ring? Is that what you're saying?
I want Mike to have a ring, and I want all our players to have a ring, and what we want to do is be here in October.
Well, hey, every 16 years, I've been telling people, it's a World Series for Detroit, 68, 84. I wasn't a math major, but I think we're due.
So you're saying we shouldn't worry about it?
That's right. Mabry down on strikes. See, Brocail, you know that he's going to come through.
He was a little pumped up.
Yeah, just as
he wanted to pitch, he got his chance to pitch.
Hey, thanks so much, John McHale, and congratulations.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, Josh. It's
a
great day for all of us.
Job well done.
Thank you.
All right, it is the 7th inning stretch in a day of first. The first 7th inning stretch of the year gets a yowl from Doug Brocail. It's 5-2 Tigers. Comerica Park's debut. Tigers 5, Seattle 2. Let's go find John Keating.
Well, Josh, we found another of our new favorite seats. You won't see this at many ballparks. Right behind home plate, the mesh actually goes all the way down to the ground, and so there's no fence in front of you. You got a great view of both the pitcher and the catcher in the batter's box. This is Willie of Novi. This is a pretty good seat, is it not?
Yes, it is. A lot warmer down here, too, than it is up there.
You'll notice that we're only using Willie's first name because Willie basically is a scofflaw. This is not, he has season tickets. He just doesn't have a season ticket to this particular seat. So, Willie, I'm sorry. You're under arrest. You'll have to come with me. Let's go back upstairs to Josh Lewin.
All right, John, thank you very much. Tony Clark comes in there against the new pitcher, Jose Paniagua, as Freddie Garcia's day is done. He went 6 innings. So did Brian Moeller today. Moeller, the last man ever to win at Tiger Stadium, could be the first man ever to win at Comerica Park. And Tony Clark takes down an in. He made a terrific defensive play in the top of the 6th inning on Mark McLemore, starting a double play. Huge. Clark fouls one. Jose Paniagua got into the game against the Yankees on Sunday back in Seattle at Safeco Field, or as they call it there traditionally with that bullpen, no lead is Safeco Field. Clark, a rocket to right, base hit. And of course, the bullpen has long been a big problem for Seattle. Tigers have gotten to that bullpen. Let's see if they can roll out from where it is right now. It's 5-2.
Take a look at Tony Clark right here. Great concentration. Gets a fastball. Been looking for it. You see the eyes right down on the ball. Tony Clark has his first base hit in the new Comerica Park.
Fifth hit of the year. Brad Ausmus will come up next. Infield, the double play depth for Seattle as Ausmus takes inside.
See Brad Ausmus looking at signs. Something may be on. I don't think they'll be bunting with a 3-run lead. I don't think Phil Garner would try and hit and run with Tony Clark either.
That one's down the middle. It's 1-1. A couple of changes defensively. John Mabry stays in the game and plays left field for Seattle. That bumps Mark McLemore in to play second base. David Bell, of course, is out. Ausmus, the best Tiger hitter so far for averages, 10 for 24 this year. And he loops that one. It is grabbed by Olerud. And he is a terrific defensive player. He comes back to the American League and reminds us of that. Tough break for Brad Ausmus. Clark scrambling back to first.
John Olerud, just an all-around player. Not only offensively here, you're going to see how you're supposed to come off the bag. You're ready, broken it down, and Tony Clark, good base running right there. Pretty tough read for him. Able to get back and not get doubled up.
So now Dean Palmer. He crushes one foul back this way. Now, once again, for those of you who are watching live right now, around 4 o'clock in Detroit, we'll have a replay of this game for you at 7 o'clock tonight. So if you're just getting home, you've been here for a while, but just wanted to seek some heat. You want to see how it looked right from the get-go. Join us at 7 tonight. Palmer with this one heading towards the right field corner. It's going to spin foul. Of course, for those of you that are watching the replay right now, you already know how this game ends. We don't.
I know how it ends.
Email us and let us know.
I know how it ends.
You do?
Yeah. Tigers win.
You got a final for me there, big guy? I got you there.
You didn't get me.
No, well, I'm still trying, actually. 0-2 from Paniagua. Oh! Very much up and in. That gets some of the fans up and yelling at Jose Paniagua.
There you see Dino right there. That's up in his mug. Dean Palmer doesn't usually glare out at people. He heard that one. And the reason for that being, that used to say 0-2.
Now, Palmer rips and misses, and he's still got kind of a long, lingering look out there for Paniagua upon retreat.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if we don't see some type of same activity from the one of the Tiger arms and one of the Seattle players.
That would warm things up a little bit. And Phil Garner, who differentiates between being a bully and just playing a hardball, is certainly not a guy that dislikes seeing a team answer when something has happened like that.
Well, I think he expects it.
Doesn't mean you have to conk anybody, but just come back and
let them know that you know that that's not acceptable.
Kareem Garcia, the Tiger batter.
Now, one of the other things is when things like that happen, when somebody buzzes one of your teammates' head, and you kind of look down the dugout, and maybe a few of the guys come up to the top step and have a few words with the opposing pitcher.
Another strike to Kareem Garcia. And you look at Doug Mansolino down there. It was his pluck as a Chicago White Sox base coach that first got the attention of Phil Garner. The White Sox and the Milwaukee Brewers had an incredible brawl a few years ago.
Yes, they did.
And Mansolino was coaching for the White Sox. The fight had died down. He came over to the Brewers dugout as a White Sox and challenged the entire dugout. Guy's 5'8". He said, "Come on, I'll take you all on." Garner said, "I got to get that guy." And he did for his staff the next year.
Well, I can tell you if any of that kind of activity does take place this year, that Phil Garner and Mansolino will be out there. Of course, they have some nice enforcement in Lance Parrish from the representing the coaches.
That's somebody who's got your flank. Garcia bloops one. And it's still 1-2. Yeah, the Tigers, it is an interesting mix on the coaching staff. And Lance Parrish, who is now the team's bullpen coach, still in unbelievable shape. You see him out there in spring training with that kind of Chachi Arcola thing with the sleeves cut off his T-shirt. And those guns. Looks like he could still nail you.
Well, the bullpen is behind Lance. That's where the tunnel is, leading down. And I asked Mr. McHale off the air if they did have mounds down there, and he confirmed that they did.
That's where the relievers have been warming up on a chilly day. Garcia down on strikes, and we're at the end of 7. Tigers 5, Mariners 2 at the Comerica Park opener on Fox Sports Net. Wilson coming up for Seattle.
Screwdriver. Hammer. Hacksaw. Ratchet. You know, Phil, this just isn't going to work out.
The MVP is ready to take Texas to the top, but the road to the title still goes through Jeter and the Yankees. Rangers-Yankees. Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Net.
It's the Tigers 5, the Seattle Mariners 2. We're through 7 innings here in Comerica Park's debut. Tigers have been out hit 11-7, but do have the lead. The game summary brought to you by Comerica. Brian Moeller. 6 innings, he's on line for the win. Polonia and Jeffries have been among the hitting stars with Bobby Higginson. Seattle, tough time with men in scoring position, 2 out of 13.
Look at the defense here. Davy Cruz and Dean Palmer have to adjust to the infield dirt and the soft grass. Kareem Garcia handles the corner very appropriately right here. You see Davy Cruz again on the infield. Juan Encarnacion, I think that ball hit a seam in the sod from the grass. And Tony Clark, well, we didn't get to Tony Clark there, but he had a fine defensive play to help the Tigers out of a jam.
Really was the play of the game, that diving play to turn a double play in the 6th inning. That was when it was 4-2, and Seattle was threatening with 2 on, nobody out. Ball and a strike to Dan Wilson. Well, you mentioned he was a Tiger killer. You're right. New ballpark, same old Dan Wilson.
When Dan Wilson first came up, he looked like he couldn't hit his way out of a paper bag, but he certainly did against us.
Well, until a few seasons ago, he always had what was called warning track power, but he muscled up, and the balls that used to die on the track are now arcing into the 8th row of seats. Sends that one to right field. Pretty good way is back there, but there's Kareem Garcia. Warning track power indeed on a day like today
in Comerica.
So there's a burst out of the 8th. Doug Brocail came on for Danny Patterson, who relieved Brian Moeller. And you had mentioned last inning with the pitch up and in to Dean Palmer. It'll be interesting to see if the Tigers choose to send one inside at any part of this 8th inning. Strike from Brocail. Doug Brocail telling us before the game that no question about it. He not only wanted to get in today, he felt like he needed to get in today. There's a pitch inside.
Told you. You don't want to look back at Doug Brocail. Phil Garner knows what's going on.
In the air towards right center. Encarnacion and Garcia together.
Call it.
Juan Encarnacion, the one-handed catch. And it's back to the top of the order for Mark McLemore. Tigers fans, be at Comerica Thursday for the 7:05 game against the Seattle Mariners. That's your chance to see Hideo Nomo. And the first 10,000 fans 14 and under receive an official Major League Baseball collector card set. 248-25 Tiger, the number to call. Frozen Mr. McLemore 0 for 4 today. If you missed the beginning and you missed the Winans singing the national anthem, you missed the ceremonial first pitch and the actual first pitch. We'll try to detail some of what happened in just a bit. What will be recorded. Here's the first pitch strike at 1:17 in the afternoon. That was from Moeller to this guy, Mark McLemore. John Olerud, the first base hit at the ballpark, a double. Luis Polonia had the first Tiger hit. It was a triple. Another strike, and it's 3-2.
Good job by Doug Brocail. Goes ahead and just gives himself up. Goes right down the chute. Want to do the same here again. Comerica. You got to say, look, hit it out. Go ahead. You want to encourage players from the opposing team to put it in play, especially in the air.
And that hopefully, again, as we talked to John McHale an inning or two ago, that hopefully will entice some pitchers to want to check this place out and call Comerica Park their own. That's got to be comforting to know that you can get away with some mistakes at a place like this. On the ground to Tony Clark. And he leads Brocail to the bag. The Tigers still lead it 5-2 for the home opener of the year 2000 at Comerica Park. We'll see Juan Encarnacion, among others, in the Tigers' 8th inning. Well, here at Comerica Park, the Tigers enjoying a 5-2 lead. The fans enjoying the day. A maiden voyage of Comerica Park. John Keating has been all around the ballpark. We'll try to figure out where he is now. Hi, John.
Well, Josh, we're out here in center field. We're out in the land of the liquid fireworks. They're behind me, right behind this screen here. 900 nozzles can shoot water 150 feet into the air. That happened earlier today, and with a little bit of a wind here, of course, some of the liquid part of the liquid fireworks ended up into the bleacher seats, which was a bit of a surprise to those people. So with only 3 more Mariner outs needed till the end of this game, I think people are just pretty much happy with the score being what it is. They don't need any more chills, at least at this point in the afternoon. Let's go back upstairs. Josh Gibby.
All right, John, thanks very much. Great job today.
John, he looks like he needs a shower anyway. Just stay right out there.
He looks like a fish stick down there. Juan Encarnacion drives one to left field. Heading back. This ball off the bottom of the wall. Not quite the first home run yet at Comerica Park, but a first pitch double for Encarnacion off Jose Paniagua. A nice way to get us to our next guest. Denise Illich joins us in the booth. It's a great day not only for the city of Detroit, but obviously for the entire Illich family. And Denise, I guess very simply, congratulations. This is unbelievable.
Well, thank you very much. We're so excited. It's almost a perfect day.
Almost? What didn't make it?
At the end of the game.
If we win, it'll be perfect?
If we win, it'll be a perfect game.
You sound like Mr. McHale. And I'm sure like Phil Garner, too, at this
and
point.
my dad.
Yeah. How's he enjoying it?
He's having a great time.
Yeah, great.
He's really enjoying it. It's a dream come true, so.
No, you know, maybe you'll tell me the truth this question. It's been a long fight to get the stadium built. I know your dad has been his dream, and has been ornery at times lately when things, is that how you kind of told when things weren't going good, or has it been smooth sailing?
No, you know, it's been a challenge. It's been a lot of years. It's been at least 7 or 8 years of a real project for the Tiger ballpark. But one of his best qualities is perseverance, and he's really persevered for this.
Runner at second base. Here's Davy Cruz looking for his third sacrifice bunt of the afternoon. I think it can be fairly pointed out about Mr. Illich. I mean, I think visionary is a very accurate word to describe the Tiger owner. He was the man who gambled by moving the pizza empire from the burbs back into downtown. And he's the one that saw the potential of rebuilding the Red Wings, now of rebuilding the Tigers. And moreover, downtown Detroit, with this perhaps as the centerpiece. There you go, Davy Cruz, his third successful sacrifice bunt of the afternoon. Well done. And Denise, if I can ask you about that, I'll do it in just a moment. First, let's check out the bunt. Gibby wants to tell us.
You know,
something.
Phil Garner's ball is starting to take place here. Look at all the sacrifice. Look at how Davy Cruz on this replay. The bat is out front. It's in a very relaxed fashion. He just gets the job done. Look at that. I mean, we're executing this part of it very, very well. And I like this. Now you've got Juan Encarnacion on third base with less than 2 outs. Luis Poloni is up at the plate, and this is an ideal situation. And going into the 9th inning, you want that extra insurance run.
Well, Davy Cruz doing a great job of setting the Tigers up for that all day. His third sacrifice bunt. He's also gotten an infield hit. The infield in for Seattle as Luis Poloni steps to the plate. There's just 1 out. That's a strike on the outside corner.
We're going to take a look at the infield. You see everybody's in now. You see everybody's in, and that opens up the infield. All Luis has to do is hit the ball. And look at third base right here. You got to keep an eye on this guy. They can have a play where he jets over here and tries to pick you off. One, got to keep awake.
Out of play, chatting more with Denise Illich. And I've got to ask you, because you were the genesis for a lot of the fun things that we're seeing around the ballpark now. Do you have a particular favorite yet? Or maybe better stated, have you seen the fans gravitate to one thing over the other quite yet?
Well, not yet. I think my favorite will be the liquid fireworks. There'll be music. You've seen the water today, but there'll be music that'll play and lots of lights at night. You'll be able to see a whole light show. So I think all of center field is pretty exciting.
And during the holidays, for example, I understand you can put red and green for Christmas out there with the liquid fireworks, right?
Thanksgiving, we'll be able to enjoy it all year round.
So what goes on for Easter? What color would that be?
Pink.
See, only Kirk's mind thinks like that, you know? Groundhog Day, I guess, could be brown for the groundhogs if you really wanted to, but now we're just getting silly.
And now we're getting into Josh's mind. Who would think of that?
2 strikes to count to Luis Poloni, and again the infield in for Seattle.
That'll get him in. Oh, it's going to be close. You got to try it.
Mabry coming, sliding, and gets up and fires in, and Encarnacion holds at third. So it stays 5-2 as Poloni flies out for the 3rd time today after his triple and after his walk.
Well, this is really frustrating. You know, Juan Encarnacion right here, you've got to tag up, and here's why. Because you never know. Look at the guy slides right here, Mabry. You're on your way, and you're scoring. And, of course, players are different. You got a 5-2 lead in the top or bottom of the 8th inning. You want that insurance run, and with 1 out, I believe I'm going to go and make him throw me out. And if the ball's waiting at the plate, you put your shoulder down and say hello.
Well,
that's just the way I feel.
You put your shoulder into somebody? No.
Yeah, well, it's better than my noggin.
First at bat for Shane Halter, and he pegs one to center. Mike Cameron moving under it, and we thank Denise Illich for stopping by. We congratulate Denise Illich. Way to go. This is really beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for stopping in.
Thanks for your support.
Absolutely. It's the Tigers today against the Seattle Mariners on opening day in Detroit. 5-2 at the end of 8, 3 outs left again.
You gotta have hope. You gotta have hope. Without hope, life is meaningless. Without hope, life is meaning less and less. You gotta have hope. You gotta have hope. You gotta have hope. You gotta have...
Tigers baseball on Fox Sportsnet brought to you by Dodge. In a perfect world, everything would be different. Also by Pepsi, the joy of cola. And by Comerica. We listen, we understand, we make it work. Take a look at the Broderick building and the famous whales. We peek in from behind Brad Osmus as we head to the 9th inning at Comerica Park. The firsts, there were many. And we will chronicle them for you right here. The first pitch officially at 1:18, a strike from Brian Moeller. The first fountain spray off of Greg Jeffries' RBI single. This is brought to you by GM. Todd Jones is on without pretty much anything under that jersey of his. He is the only bare-armed pitcher we have seen in this game.
You can see the hair on his arm is standing straight up. You're not fooling anybody, Jonesy. It's chilly out there.
From Pell City, Alabama, where it seldom gets this brisk.
Actually, the pitcher of all the players on the field, who need the most, they're active every play of the game.
Well, Jones opening with Mike Cameron, 2 balls and no strikes. It is a save situation in a 3-run game.
You got to watch out here. The Mariners are going to be trying to get base runners on base. You see Mike Cameron being patient right there. Tigers unable to get that extra run.
Gibby Lou Pinella's coming out. Rick Reed is heading over, the home plate umpire, to the Tigers dugout. Looks like maybe a problem with something out there in center field. Oh, I see what it is. There's a door that's open. They're just now closing, or trying to close. There it is. one last picture being snuck in there. That's what Lou Pinella was complaining about. The sight lines for his hitters. Jones missing up and in, 3 balls, no strikes. Tigers have been out a hit 11-8. Right arm goes up from Rick Reed, 3-1.
Again, just throw it right down the pipe, Jonesy. Let him hit it.
Strike 2. Temperature in the upper 30s when the game began. But there's a tough guy reliever, Todd Jones. No sweatshirt.
Could it be a fastball?
Belted foul by Cameron. Well, Gibby, what's been the most memorable for you so far today? So many things that we've seen for the first time. Anything jump out at you here in the 9th inning?
Well, I just like the first roar, the first sound. That was what I really wanted to hear. And got to listen to that. And, you know, I guess maybe I'm pretty sentimental about the whole deal. And you see Jonesy walks Cameron to lead off the night. But I just think you know, we have a rich history and tradition in the city of Detroit. See all the people coming out. Well, even though it was snowing and it was chilly, did not matter. Everybody was in their seat for the first pitch of the game, and that makes me feel good sitting here looking over the city.
Alex Rodriguez coming up. Todd Jones on the mound. Maybe that's appropriate too. Remember, he was the guy who delivered the final pitch at Tiger Stadium, striking out the Royals' Carlos Beltran. Now he can bring this one to a close. Strike 1 to Rodriguez. That's one of my most memorables from closing day, Gibby. That 4-pitch final at bat. Jones and Beltran, the lightning storm of flashbulbs getting more and more intense with each of the deliveries. Rocky Rowe, the home plate umpire and Detroit native, said it was like looking at the Milky Way. That was unbelievable. I think from the post-game ceremony too, the things that were most memorable, besides you sliding upon your entrance, nothing that was scripted, you know, all the spontaneous moments. A shot to right, but foul. You had Willie Horton, who of course came back here today. Willie Horton almost didn't come to the final day at Tiger Stadium because he knew that he'd get all emotional, and indeed he got all emotional. He was crying and pumping his fists Willie Horton might have provided the single best snapshot to that day. That and you sliding.
Sorry.
That was great. So was that. Todd Jones, the bottom dropping out literally 73 miles an hour on approach for the first out of the 9th inning.
Well, 3 previous pitches to A-Rod up in the 90s, and here he takes a lot off it, like you say, 73, a big snap dragon. That's a pretty good snap off right there. It's pretty hard to get that ball to go down like that so slowly, but Jonesy does it, and A-Rod's not looking for it, and the Tigers got their first out of the 9th inning.
Jones against Olerud now. And a strike from Jonesy.
It looks like it took Jonesy about 1 hitter to get used to that mound. Walks off the leadoff mark, or Mike Cameron, and now throwing nothing but strikes.
Seattle's already stranded 11 in this game. That pitch biting down and in to Olerud, 1-1. Don't forget, it's the same 2 teams tomorrow night, a game that will not be televised, so come on out, see Malicki and Seeley for the Tigers and the Mariners. 7:05 first pitch, then it's Hideo Nomo against Gil Mesh on Thursday night. Tampa Bay with Canseco and Vinny Castilla, Fred McGriff, all those guys, Greg Vaughn, they come to town over the weekend. On the ground, left side, Davy Cruz had it get away, and he's going to go and retrieve it. He was almost able to smother it, but it bounded away, and it's an infield hit. That will bring the tying man to the plate.
Well, I tell you what, Olerud's such sweet swinging. He gets 2 strikes and just shoots it through the hole right here. Davy with a good attempt. Unable to come up with it. I don't think even if he would have caught it, he would have been able to gather it out. Edgar Martinez now represents the tying run for this Seattle Mariner team.
Former American League batting champion Edgar Martinez. To a slow start, but you know he's awesome at getting on base. Among active players, only Frank Thomas has a better career on base percentage than Edgar Martinez. Rifled foul, 1-1. Oh, we mentioned it earlier. I'll repeat it again, Gibby. The other 2 times this city has opened a ballpark, their franchise has won. 1896, 1912, and now on the cusp of it here in the year 2000. Outside, so the 3rd ballpark in 104 years in Detroit. Opens on this very raw, very blustery Tuesday afternoon. 39,168, the paid crowd, more than 40,000 actually here. Breaking pitch for a strike. 2-2.
See pretty good career stats for Edgar against Todd. Also a few strikeouts. Let's see another one of those.
Up and in. 3-2. Buhner waits on deck for Lou Piniella. Another right-handed power hitter after Edgar Martinez.
Jonesy struggling a little bit with the feel of the ball.
Got him! 2 down, 9th inning, and it comes to Buhner.
It seems like the best pitch for Todd this 9th inning has been his breaking ball. Gets A-Rod with a nasty breaker, and right here comes back. Sets down Edgar Martinez. 2 away, Tigers 1 away from a opening park, Comerica Park victory.
success against Todd Jones in his career. Literally. It's the matchup you want.
Yes, it is. He's 5 for 5. That is strikeouts per at bat.
Slowly towards Shane Halter. Ball game's over. Got the last out at the old place. He got the last out in the first game at the new place. And the Tigers have defeated Seattle on this frosty Tuesday afternoon. A memorable Comerica Park opener. Tigers stumbled out of the gate, made a couple of errors before they even came to the plate. But they win it. Without Easley, without Juan Gonzalez, Phil Garner's team improves now to 2-5. And Comerica Park's debut is now in the books.
Well, I'll tell you, the Tigers have only 2 victories so far this year, Josh, but I think the mold is pretty self-explanatory. You get good starting pitching, come in with Doug Brocail. Todd Jones finishes it off. That definitely worked.
Well, it's a happy Tiger crew. They will very soon be a slightly warmer Tiger crew as they head in. Let's head now to the field. John Keating is standing by with the winning manager.
All right, Josh, thanks. This game's a lot of fun when you play in front of a crowd like this and have a game like you did today.
Well, we had some hardy souls that stayed to the end with us, and we appreciate that, but it was a beautiful day, no matter what the weather was, and we had a lot of fun on the field.
You were really looking for Brian Moeller to give you a lift, and he did just that. Pitched very solidly for 6 innings again.
Yes, he did. We put him in some jams a couple of times. He picks a guy off in the first inning and kind of eases the pain a little bit, but pitched out of some trouble and did a fine job. And we came through with some big hits today, which is what we haven't been doing.
You had to get after your guys a little bit after the game in Baltimore. All of a sudden, you feel better about things when you come back here and you see your new surroundings and the guys get some timely hits.
Well, we do feel better about things when we come back here. This was this is a beautiful ballpark. We walked into that clubhouse. A lot of us saw it in January, and it wasn't completed. We didn't know what to think, and it is really first class, state of the art. The field itself is magnificent. It was a wonderful day. So the other part of the season we can put aside. We can start from today, and it's a new beginning.
It's been a long day for everybody. I'm guessing you're going to sleep pretty good tonight.
Oh, I'm excited. This was a lot of fun.
All right, Phil, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Tiger manager Phil Garner celebrating his first victory at Comerica Park. The Tigers' first victory at Comerica Park. Back upstairs to Josh Lewin now.
All right, Sean, thank you so much. Well, the fountains are working, that we know. And this crowd, bundled up as they were today, will leave here happy with a Tiger 5-2 win. Brian Moeller, who was the starter in the finale at Tiger Stadium, got the call today in this home opener, and he was a winner too. Detroit 5, Seattle 2. Will come back and wrap it up after this. Tigers 5, Mariners 2. It started out snowing this morning. It stayed cold throughout the day, but I think a lot of hale and hearty Tiger fans will be telling their kids, their grandkids, their friends, their neighbors, what have you, about just being here today. We ran through a lot of emotions. We ran through a lot of different weather. In the end, it was a Tiger win.
Well, it really was, and this is what the Tigers were looking for, and the stories are all going to be different. That's what a victory will do for you. I was proud that I could have my children here so they can go on and talk about the opening day of Comerica Park, maybe when the next park comes.
I don't know if it's fair yet to call Comerica Park a pitcher's park, a hitter's park, or anything quite yet, because it's only been one game. Wind chills were in the 20s today. Can we make a fair assessment yet?
I think you can make a good hunch assessment, and I'm looking at it from a hitter's point of view. The infield grass is very thick and very slow. The hitters aren't going to like that. The walls are definitely out there farther. Doesn't appear that the ball carried on a cold day. I don't think it's going to matter. It's just a big park. Now, somebody is going to like it, and that's the pitchers. And I can only think of the Seattle Mariners before they moved into Safeco Field. Their ERA was over 6. After Safeco Field, it was right around 4. I love 1-0 games. How many times do I got to tell you that?
About 100.
I think we're going to see a few more of those in Comerica Park.
Well, indeed, for Tiger fans that have been wanting to see better pitching for the last 20 years or so, it's a ballpark that's conducive to that. Again, Brian Moeller got the win today. Todd Jones saved it. We saw some decent pitching this afternoon.
Well, we really did, and that's a carbon copy. And even when they had that little purpose pitch on Dean Palmer, Doug Brocail comes back, gets his message back. I think Phil Garner's spell is starting to take place.
Tigers win to go to 2-5. They win 5-2 on what was, despite the weather, believe it or not, a beautiful day. It saw Al Kaline in the dugout, Sparky Anderson as well. And we saw 40,000 fans digging it. It's not Tiger Stadium. It is now Comerica Park. It's a new corner, Montcalm and Witherell. It's a new chapter for the Detroit Tigers franchise. And we hope you've enjoyed our coverage. Don't forget, we've got a 7 o'clock replay. We'll show you the whole thing again tonight. Our next game, the next Tigers telecast Friday night, Jose Canseco and the Devil Rays. Live coverage beginning with the pregame show with John Keating at 6:30. For Kirk Gibson and our man on the street, John Keating, he did a great job today. I'm Josh Lewin saying so long from Comerica Park. Again, your final, Tigers 5, Seattle 2. You've been watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Net. Stay tuned. Rush Hour is coming up next.